mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minert Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
You know, I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody. You know, I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
You know, a couple of them said, can we only be on 2, you know?
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And yeah.
So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, you know, a lot of the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Hi, it's Dale from the Daybreak Show, inviting you to join Jeff Slakey and myself every morning from 6 till 9. We have what we think is a pretty compelling mix of news, information, and interviews.
Hi, this is Patty Verney. I'm the store director at Nifty Thrifty. This is Terry Shaw from the Mason County Senior Activity Center.
This is Kathy Haig. This is Patty Case with Green Diamond Resource Company, and you're listening to Jeff and Dale.
Jeff and Dale on Newsradio KMAS. Boy, you're smart listening to this station.
Is your family doing some growing? Whether it's an expansion of your home or the addition of a new family car, Peninsula Credit Union can provide fast, friendly service with terrific rates. We offer personal lines of credit, affordable auto loans, and a variety of home loan options to get you moving. Visit our offices in Shelton, Belfair, Paulsbo, Port Orchard, and Port Townsend, or go online to pcfcu.org. At Peninsula Credit Union, our priority is you.
Broncos are in. The Navy's quarterback sets records. The Spurs and Warriors are winners. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. The last game of the year. The game was tied. Denver kicker Brandon McManus shanked a 45-yarder at the end of regulation, but made good on a 37-yarder in overtime. The Bengals then had their shot in OT, but quarterback A.J. McCarron took his eye off the shotgun snap.
McCarron lost the ball. If the Broncos recover, they win. Where's on it? And the Broncos are in the playoffs.
On ESPN, Denver hangs on 20-17 and clinched a playoff berth. The Bengals blew a chance to earn a bye in the playoffs. At the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland last night.
Now Reynolds, quarterback draw, right up the middle, right down Randall Street, touchdown Navy. Career touchdown number 88. The record once again belongs to the Navy quarterback.
On ESPN, Navy crushed Pittsburgh 44-28, and Keenan Reynolds leaves as the career leader with 88 touchdowns, 530 points, and over 4,500 yards rushing, the most by a quarterback in NCAA history. To the NBA, the Spurs extended their home record to 18-0.
Leonard now with it on the break, off to Parker. Reverse layup is good. A backbreaker.
On WCCO, without Tim Duncan, the Spurs down the T-Wolves 101-95. Golden State also undefeated at home.
Steph Curry catches, fires a deep left, free. Steph Curry now at 23.
On KNBR, Curry registered his first triple-double this season. Warriors beat the Kings 122-103. Omri Caspi scored a career-high 36. And the Yankees busy again, throwing logs into the hot stove. New York picked up arguably the hardest-throwing pitcher in baseball history, closer Aroldis Chapman from Cincinnati for 4 minor leaguers. Despite Chapman facing domestic violence allegations and a potential suspension, Yankee GM Brian Cashman still wanted to make the trade.
We've done as much due diligence on the subject at hand as we possibly can.
College hoops, North Carolina, Butler, Duke all winners. Women's hoops, UConn beat Maryland 83-73. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
9. For Newsradio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3. And we are streaming audio and video this morning. We are smiling faces. Let me tell you what. It is 10 past 6. KMAS.com is where you'll find us on the digital world. Dale Hubbard here, 10 past 6. Sports notes for you. As you heard, a wild and woolly one in Denver last night. Overtime.
Yeah.
It was It was an entertaining game. It was an exciting game. I don't know if it was exciting wall to wall, but I mean, it was close score, They battled hard. Cincinnati's a good team. Denver actually showed themselves to be a really good team last night and came from behind to win in overtime, 20-17. Good game. So there was that going on, and a game that was here on KMAS. Now, tonight, online, KMAS.com, the aforementioned high school basketball, the Lady Climbers hosting Hoquiam. Jeff and I will be there just before 7 o'clock from the Mini Dome. This weekend, we have a couple of Gonzaga Bulldog basketball games coming up for you. Pretty exciting, really. New Year's Eve in the afternoon at 1:40 with the tip set for 2. Gonzaga and Santa Clara will tussle. And then Gonzaga slides on over to the city by the bay. I left my heart in San Francisco. USF and the Bulldogs tangle on January 2nd, 2016 at 7:40 in the evening. We'll have that for you. And then on January 3rd, this coming Sunday, it's the Seahawks wrapping up the season, the regular season, against Arizona in the desert. Sunday night football this weekend will be the Vikings and Packers, and that game's very significant to who we play where and when in the playoffs. Very exciting times right now. By the way, Seahawks coming off of one of their ugliest games of the year.
Yeah,
would you say?
I would agree.
They needed a little good news, and they may be getting it with the potential return of running back Marshawn Lynch, the Beast. Coach Carroll indicated yesterday that Lynch could rejoin the team later this week, but said they would have to wait and see whether he can play in a regular season finale in Arizona. Probably be hard to keep him out of the game if he feels like he can go.
Yeah.
But, abdominal surgery 4 weeks ago.
They've already clinched. Why not just be safe?
Yeah.
Let
one more week go by.
Let T-Jack start. Who cares?
Well, we probably are settled into a 6 seed now instead of a 5 seed.
I mean, is there much we can do?
No, there really isn't. It's kind of based on who wins between, Green Bay and
I'd start the whole second
Vikings.
string.
Yeah.
Get them out there, let them enjoy the time, and then you don't have to worry about anybody.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But you don't want to mail it in. They got to play the games. They got to play hard. There's fans. They don't want to, short circuit the fans' dollar
they're
value.
Arizona. Who cares?
But they're Arizona, and who cares? Okay. So that's sports. Hey, little icy. I want to say hats off to the state crew and the county crews out there sanding the roads this morning because we had freezing temperatures on 101 coming in.
Yeah, currently 32. Cloudy skies. We have 0 precipitation other than the foggy kind of ness that we get off and on. And this is going to be around for the next 10 days or so. We're seeing highs in the upper 30s and lows in the mid 20s.
Yikes.
That's a chili burger right there.
It's cold. 32 right now. Good morning to you. Daybreak.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the capital of the great state of Washington, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. Daybreak here on a Tuesday morning. It's the 29th of December, so just a couple more get-ups in the year 2015. And whoa, can you believe it? It's the end of the year.
Actually, I think this was my last get-up for the year.
You're not getting up for much longer here. Girls in Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
We're off Friday because it is 1/1/16.
Yes, and some special programming for you early bird risers. And my sidekick over here, he'll be up early on the first day of the new year. Playback 2015, a high-energy, fast-paced 1-hour special from 6 to 7 a.m. New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
ABC News Radio offering a special year-end edition of their award-winning weekly news magazine. This edition will include ABC News exclusive interview with Pope Francis from 7 till 8 in the morning.
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be good. And then from 8 until 9 on Friday morning, ABC News Chief Business and Economic Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis and News Correspondent Richard Davies, the Economy 2015 Year in Review. That can either take many hours or not very long at all.
A quick one.
Look back at the events of the last year that affected your pocketbook, including some moves that you can make in 2016 to get on the right track.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You know, you don't want to be on the wrong track.
No, not
you want to be on the right track.
Right first step.
You don't want to be on the left track. You want to be on the right track.
While we're stopped down here for a second, mark your calendars for February 6th. It's the day before the Super Bowl. It's a Saturday.
Yes,
but it's going to be a super Saturday for us at the Alderbrook Resort and Spa as we once again dive deep into the frigid waters of the Hood Canal to help raise funds for the Mason County Emergency Services and these volunteers that do so much work. It is going to be a fun day, Saturday, the 6th of February, out at the Alderbrook. I'll be jumping in. And
yeah, when Jeff says we, he means him. when we are jumping, he's jumping.
I'm going to try to finagle Carol to come with us this year.
Yeah.
And so her and I can jump, and we can jump together.
I would like to see Carol jump into the frigid waters.
I would too.
I think that would be awesome.
I've been doing it enough by myself. I'm ready for
You need a partner.
Ready for a partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll probably be on the sidelines on the shore playing the music.
Yeah, I'll be
announcing the winners of the raffle.
PAing.
Oh, speaking of PA as well, this Saturday night is an Artesians game. You should come. Is Matt still in town?
No.
Darn it. All the heck fire.
He would, and we were talking about indoor soccer, and, he's in his early 30s.
Yeah.
Now. And him and his high school buddies still play in the league every once in a while.
Oh, man. Get them down for the new year, man.
Down here to try out for the Artesians.
Poof. I don't know. It's tough,
and they're young and
tough to get on board. Those guys are good.
Yeah, they are.
So Saturday night there's an Artesians game.
That's awesome.
Man, you should definitely.
Well, we might come down Saturday night.
There's a couple more throughout the rest of the couple next months. 32 right now. It is freezing, literally 32. The sunrise this morning 7:59. I thought it was getting lighter, longer here.
Yeah, that's the theory.
33 seconds longer today.
See, I could sense it.
I could feel it. So that's what's going on. And the lows, again, 28, 25, 26. Fortunately, no precipitation. Otherwise, we'd be in Snowville.
Oh, man. Yes, indeed. Well, we received a message from one of our legislators, Representative McEwen, wrote to me yesterday and reserved his weekly slot Wednesday mornings at 7:30 when Congress goes into session. And he'll be giving us his weekly reports, as he has done. All of our legislators have been very good about that. So we got Dan Griffey.
Yeah.
Get him locked into a day, and Senator Sheldon, and see if we can get him locked in for a particular morning during the week. and have them check in with us and let us get an inside view of what their week was like and what they feel is going to be coming down the pike. And we both agree it's probably not going to be a long, drawn-out affair this time around because it's election year.
Sure.
So all of them are hustling and bustling to get in, get out, and get on the campaign trail. And so it'll be a little friskier, I think, this year than it was last year.
There'll be a lot of hullabaloo, but it'll last like a day.
Yeah.
Hurrah, 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 hurrah.
Yeah. And then
the next day, well, we got to get this thing going.
Yeah.
Man. You know where I stand.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Spiro Dinas with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 16 closed out on Monday Night Football in Denver with an overtime thriller. Down by 3, the Bengals tried to put together a drive to tie or win the game, but A.J. McCarron botched a snap on a 2nd and 10. DeMarcus Ware flew in, recovered the football for the Broncos as Denver wins it 20-17. Brock Osweiler, meantime, helping the Broncos get out of a 14-0 deficit by throwing for 299 yards and a touchdown. The win gets the Broncos a postseason berth for a 5th consecutive season. Meantime, the Broncos' other quarterback, Peyton Manning, in the news. Manning making headlines over the weekend after a report from Al Jazeera accused him of having HGH shipped to his wife back in 2011 as Manning was recovering from a neck injury. Manning adamantly has denied the claim, but the NFL announcing Monday that they will look further into the allegations. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Geico applauds your inner happy camper.
A merit badge of awesomeness goes out to the part of you that wants to put the recreation in recreational vehicle. The part of you that packs up everything and everybody in the RV and says, let's get this show on the road. Because Geico has specialized agents who help save money on more than just car insurance. Geico will insure that entire RV, so you can get the s'more making, poison ivy dodging, same song singing, ghost storytelling, campfire building, best time you ever had with your family show on the road.
Geico for your RV. See how much you could save.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Call Quicken Loans now to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the 2nd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org. Number 30.
There is no time more fitting than this holiday season to say thank you. From Hood Canal Communications, thank you for your friendship and support. Please accept their best wishes for a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Again, thank you and best holiday wishes from Hood Canal Communications.
KMAS News Radio believes Christmas is the best time of the year. For KMAS, it's a time for friends and family, and for sending warmest wishes to special people like you.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hi, this is Dick Taylor from the Port of Shelton, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS Radio.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at KMAS. Coming up at 6:30, we'll have news from Marilyn Foster, check sports, and have a little more information on what the scenarios will bring with this upcoming Seahawks game. that we'll have on the radio for you Sunday with an 11 o'clock pregame and a 1:25 kickoff.
Yes, talking about our legislators, we always wonder, are they effective? Are they doing anything? Are they moving in a forward direction? So we have some good news of our good friend Derek Kilmer, who checks in with us monthly, even from Washington, D.C., and no doubt will be a presence with us in 2016 as well. And a real nice article in the Washington Post on Mr. Kilmer.
Yeah, it looks like, we all know that public approval of Congress is low, like below 10, I think.
Like the worst ever?
Yeah, I think rats are above.
Oh my God,
Congress.
Rats on a sinking ship.
But, there is these things, these scores that they put out, these legislative effectiveness scores, and they've figured out who are the best. And so we'll start with the most effective Republicans in the 113th Congress, whatever, from Minnesota's 4th, Dave Camp. Okay,
yeah.
You may know some of these names, you may not, and some are very not memorable. But Darrell Issa, we know him. He used to run the Benghazi Committee and stuff like that. He's from California, the 49th District. Edward Royce is another Californian. Doc Hastings from the 4th District
in Washington,
here in the great state of Washington. And Don Young as well for Republicans in Congress. Now Democrats, Earl Blumenauer from Oregon, Richard Norland from Minnesota, Elijah Cummings from Maryland, Kurt Schrader also from Oregon, and then our own Derek Kilmer in the 6th District of Washington.
Nice.
So that is some pretty cool stuff. Good to Derek and to Doc making the lists. Pretty cool stuff. Good for them. All of them, except for Camp and Hastings, are now serving in the current 114th Congress. So I guess Hastings may have lost his last run. This was for the 113th. Currently, we're in the 114th, but still
all right,
effective nonetheless. We'll talk to Derek Kilmer here, I'm sure, next month. He's done things, the Tribal Coast Resilience Act. We talked about that. The Federal Employee Anti-Discrimination Act. Was also sponsored by Cummings. Pretty good stuff here by Derek Kilmer.
Pretty busy
in the U.S.
last year.
I like it.
So good for that. That's always good to know that our people are being effective.
And they're doing something over there.
Seattle Tour Company, involved in that deadly crash September, have 9 of its amphibious vehicles back on city streets as drivers prepare for Coast Guard inspections. Did you catch that?
Yeah,
okay, Coast Guard has to inspect these ride the ducks. Well, they're boats and they're duck boats and kind of cars and kind of buses all mixed into one. Anyway, the company Ride the Ducks of Seattle has been operating the company's duck boats this week to get ready for next week's inspections.
I was just thinking back to this Derek Kilmer thing we were just talking about. Regardless if you like what he did or you didn't like what he did, at least you have something that you can look at.
Yep.
You've got so he did these things. I don't agree with him, so I'll vote for someone else the next time. Or otherwise, these other 400 so they only showed us 10. The other 425 U.S. congressmen.
Oh my word!
I mean, what have you been doing? What did you really pass, or what did you have your name co-sponsored on that actually made it through?
Yeah, did you go out and make a presentation in front of your respective house and say, "Hey, we need to think about doing this," and try to persuade members of Congress to take action?
Yeah. Either way, at the end of the day, if you agree or not agree, at least you've got some stuff that you can look at. Done.
It's important.
Bail has been set at $500,000 for a man suspected of fatally shooting a 21-year-old woman in Kennewick. Tri-City Herald reports that 20-year-old Francisco Muros Quintanero turned himself in Friday after police determined him to be a person of interest in Thursday's death of Luisa Alejandra Garcia.
Now, 2 stories here about Amazon.
Okay.
They had a kind of a jokingly had referred to as, you got all these boxes after Christmas. Well, that must mean Amazon did well. Well, they did. They broke records over the Christmas holiday. Online retailer Amazon Prime beneficiary, more consumers doing holiday shopping online and procrastinating. Amazon Prime, the company's $99 a year loyalty program, I think you're on that, aren't you?
I am.
Includes unlimited free 2-day shipping, gained 3 million new members in the 3rd week of December alone.
So that is that just by turning on Prime,
right?
The company earned an additional $300 million.
Yeah. Well, there was
because it is $3 million and it's $100 a piece.
$3 million. Yeah, $300 million.
Oh my God! Just to be a Prime.
Just be a Prime. And announcement this morning that Amazon is building a third skyscraper in downtown Seattle.
So are we supposed to be happy about this news? Because it's like a local company in a sense.
You know what? I think that it means more jobs and a better economy for the Northwest. It's got to eventually get here in some form or fashion. Yeah, it's good news. It is good news.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's a new change for 2016 for Central Mason Fire and EMS. Assistant Chief Mike Patty is being promoted to Deputy Chief at Central Mason Fire and EMS effective January 1st. His duties as the City of Shelton and CMFE Fire Marshal, as well as fire investigator for the remainder of the county, will continue as in the past. His new duties will consist of mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minert Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
You know, I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody, you know, I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
You know, a couple of them said, can we only be on 2, you know?
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And yeah.
So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, you know, a lot of the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Stop by Mason PUD3's Shelton or Belfair offices this month and pick up your free 2016 PUD calendar. The calendar has important tips for energy efficiency, storm preparation, and contact information, so it's always close at hand. The calendar also has beautiful photos of Mason County scenery. Supplies are limited, so get your calendar before they're all gone. Mason PUD number 3, providing clean, renewable, and reliable energy every day.
This is Men's Health Live from Men's Health Magazine.
Lou, how do we account for this nation full of heavy people?
We eat a lot of foods that our bodies simply, you know, throughout our evolutionary history, we haven't encountered these. Our grandparents didn't encounter these foods. In a lot of cases, our parents didn't encounter these foods. So we have absolutely no defense mechanism.
Men's Health Live, the radio show that's full of tons of useful stuff. From the biggest and best-selling men's lifestyle magazine in the world, Men's Health.
Radio 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3 and KMAS.com. I'm Dale Hubbard. Good morning. It is 6:34 on this Tuesday morning, coming off one of their ugliest performances of the season. The Seahawks needed a little good news. Well, he may be getting it in the potential return of running back Marshawn Lynch. Coach Carroll indicated yesterday that Lynch could rejoin the team later this week, but said they'd have to wait and see whether he's, player ready for the regular season finale at Arizona. I'm kind of with you, Jeff. I'd rather see him just sit one more week and heal up really good and be ready to really bang it in in some cameo role in the playoffs, and then gain some momentum as the playoffs gain momentum. So it's not a critical win for Seattle this Sunday. It's important, yeah, but so they have the luxury of not having to go with him this weekend, or giving him just a few carries to kind of get a taste again.
Yeah.
But, and that would be great. He was in camp last week. He didn't practice or anything, but he was back with the team. And then now he's back in the Bay Area with some physicians and some specialists evaluating. Because I can only imagine, and not even very well can I imagine, the stress that your body goes through in an NFL game.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be put back together pretty tight to go out there.
They only do about 12. The quickness of these starts and stops, and then just the force at which the plays stop.
Man.
Even if you're not really in the play that happened, you still are sprinting down the line, or you're still mentally focused for those seconds, and then you got to kind of stop, look back, and then come back to the play, the next play.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. So he's with some trainers down in the Bay Area. They'll evaluate him very closely. Don't listen to what he says as much as what they evaluate his physicality to be. Big game for Denver last night. As we talked about, they could have conceivably been aced out of the playoffs. I think now they've secured a playoff position for sure. But with the Kansas City Chiefs freight train coming down the tracks with 9 wins in a row, Denver was looking over their shoulder a little bit, and they started out with a 14-0 deficit. Came back and rallied in overtime for a 2017 win over a Cincinnati Bengal team that is pretty darn good. So, congratulations to Denver. They'll be moving on probably. I think they may have a finale with Kansas City, though, next week. That'll be a fun one to watch, man. So, all that being said, we've got a fun one for you to watch tonight on KMAS.com. We will have HD video stream of the Lady High Climbers taking on Hoquiam from the Mini Dome. Join Jeff and myself a little before 7 o'clock tonight for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we'll be able to get to the Mini Dome. No precipitation today, and actually nothing for the next 10 days other than this cold.
It's cold.
Yesterday's high, just 40 at Sanderson Field. 32 currently. We're going to warm up to about 38 today. The low tomorrow, so as during the overnight here coming up, is going to be 25. So we're going to be in the upper 30s during the day and the mid 20s during the overnight. So very cold for sure.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now from the shores of Hood Canal, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here, 6:39 on a Tuesday morning.
Yes.
Live the country life in a few moments.
Final Tuesday of 2015.
Sure, I heard that somebody say that yesterday, and you always kind of take a step back.
Yeah.
So you don't realize how quickly the year, it just flown.
Yeah.
Flown by.
And it gets quicker as you go. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm finding that out.
We had a big story last week about all these thousands of prisoners that have been released early from their sentences due to a glitch.
What
programming glitch?
Yeah.
It's been going on for 8 years or something like that. I can't remember how long. 14 years?
13.
Yeah.
Something.
So crazy. and thousands of people with getting their sentences, like they're getting more bonus time for good behavior than they were entitled to.
Sure.
They were getting their sentences cut 6 to 9 months, some of them.
Wow.
So one that got out early, got out in August this year, was not supposed to be out until this month, till December.
Yeah.
Now, back behind bars facing charges of vehicular homicide. Robert Jackson was arrested and charged in an accident that killed a woman who was riding in the car with him. Her name is Lindsay Hill. Very distressing. Saw her family this morning talking on the news about the deal, and he was released from prison August 10th. His correct release date was December the 6th. So you knew that was going to happen. You knew something along those lines because all these early releases.
So they didn't. This is because another crime was committed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I thought that,
and it was committed before he was even supposed to get out.
Oh, jeez.
So there is going to be a tremendous amount with the thousands of early releases that happened, and they start retracking all that. It's going to uncover some nasty things, I'm afraid.
King County Sheriff's spokeswoman says the bomb squad has detonated a grenade found near an elementary school in the city of SeaTac. She says a construction worker found the grenade in a box on a street corner. Bomb techs determined, they said the grenade was real, but upon detonating it in a remote location, found that it contained no explosives.
So
have you ever thrown a grenade?
Just for show, yes.
How does it? I don't even know how they work.
Grenade. So you've got a kind of a arm that goes along the side of it.
Yeah.
And you squeeze the grenade and then squeeze the arm in. Mm-hmm. And so you hold that in, and there's a linchpin.
Right.
So when you pull that linchpin out, now that arm has the ability to go out all the way and trigger the explosive.
Right.
So as long as you got your grip on the grenade, you're okay. And then when you throw it, there's a 3-second detonation time.
What is in there that blows up? So what was not in here?
The explosives, the actual stuff that blows up. So whatever that would be, the liquid.
So there's something inside.
Yeah, there's something inside.
And there was nothing inside this one.
Right, and then it's metal, and so it's hefty.
Yeah, so there's some shrapnel involved. I got that part.
Yeah, so that's kind of how they work. So you have to throw them in basic training.
And then when they do, now this was probably not part of your basic training, but when you launch cannonballs.
Yes.
You see cannonballs in the movies.
How do they blow up when they hit?
Yeah.
You're going to ask me that, aren't you? I don't know.
Okay. So that's not a thing.
I think that too is timing. I think it, like the cannonball in reality, away from the movies, can hit and even roll or thud, and then within a few moments.
Does it blow up? Do cannonballs have explosives?
Yeah, they blow up, but they, like a grenade, but they don't blow up on impact necessarily. They blow up when it's time.
Okay.
To go. I think. Anybody that's a cannonball expert can give us a call this morning.
But, in all the movies, whenever a cannonball hits something, it explodes.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the impact of, I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I mean, you got to think somebody's dropped a cannonball somewhere else
in
the line.
Or they have them all stacked up neatly in the corner, like in a pyramid.
If one breaks or somebody pulls one out of the bottom or something?
Yeah, you kick the bottom one and it falls and they all roll. And that's scary stuff.
Yeah. Oh, man.
All right. Every 3 months, a group of stakeholders meets to discuss the progress in a long-term plan to ensure there is enough water for farmers and wildlife over in the Yakima River Basin. Also attending each meeting are environmental groups frustrated by what they call a biased process. These concerns have taken on a new urgency as the Yakima Basin Integrated Plan moves forward. Yakima Herald reports a House bill is also being drafted.
Wow.
So some stuff going on in the basin of Yakima.
All right. We will give you a chance to get your roof repaired, to get your mouth repaired. What else can we? And repair your hunger.
There you go.
We can do all those things for you here in the next hour.
Repair a relationship with a date night.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good deal. Oh, man. Good idea, Jeff. Romantic. You romantic fellow, you.
That's it. That's me.
So it's our holiday giveaway for 2015. And before the year's out, we got stuff to give away. So stay tuned for that. And the number you want to call, 462-1041.
We often talk about my nieces, and I and I work hard. I want to be the cool uncle, the nice uncle.
Yeah.
Unky Jeff.
Yes.
I don't know what they say.
The good uncle.
The good uncle. You don't want to be the creepo uncle. Dateline, Salisbury, Maryland.
Uh-oh. Is this a bad uncle story?
This is a bad uncle story.
Uh-oh.
29-year-old Kyle T. Buford, we'll say, because, arrested December 22 after the police say he assaulted his 5-year-old nephew for playing with his Pokemon cards. According to a release from the Wicomico County Sheriff's Office, after Buford made the discovery that the kid's playing with his Pokemon cards, allegedly, struck the boy so hard he knocked him off his feet and into a wall.
Whoa.
Police say the guy, Kyle, 29-year-old uncle, lives with the boy on Philip Morris Drive, whatever that means. I mean, we don't live over there, so we don't know. Second-degree child abuse, second-degree assault, $20,000 bond. So this guy's...
So he's living with his brother or sister, and it was their child.
Yeah.
He looks creepy.
Yeah.
And looks like he's got a temper. Not to, just kind of make a blanket statement, but he looks like he could get a kid.
Wow. What a story.
6:45 in the morning here on a Tuesday.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Private well owners should test their well water at least once a year to be sure it's safe to drink. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Even if it tastes just fine, certain contamination can be harmful as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
The 2016 Commodity Classic in New Orleans promises to be the jazziest ever. More education, the biggest trade show yet, and plenty of new ideas, innovation, and technology. Commodity Classic is a great place to recharge your batteries, get energized and inspired. A great place to get jazzed about your farm and your future. And this year, the Association of Equipment Manufacturers joins the nation's corn, soybean, wheat, and sorghum industries at Commodity Classic. Get jazzed in New Orleans at Commodity Classic, March 3rd through 5th. Discover more at commodityclassic.com.
Read Living the Country Life magazine on your computer and mobile devices. Each issue features great stories, how-to help, reader tips, and recipes, as well as beautiful photos to spark new ideas for your place in the country. All the stories and features you love about Living the Country Life magazine are right at your fingertips, anywhere, any way you want them. Visit nextissue.com or zenio.com to subscribe. There's no limit to how many times you can enjoy your digital editions of Living the Country Life.
When people on public water systems turn on the faucet for a glass of water, they usually assume it's fit to drink. But if your water comes from a private well, it's up to you to routinely test your water to make sure nothing harmful has found its way in. Cliff Tryons is the Public Awareness Director for the National Groundwater Association. He says the association recommends that private well owners test annually for bacteria and nitrates.
Bacteria is everywhere, and so if a well system is not properly sealed, or if there's a problem with a contamination source, bacteria can get into your water, and some bacteria is dangerous. Nitrate is very pervasive in rural areas because of agriculture. Nitrate is a byproduct of fertilizers and animal waste and human waste.
Tryon says the association also recommends that you contact your county health department for anything of local concern that should be tested for, such as arsenic, radon, or man-made water quality issues. The health department can help you find someone to test your well and interpret the results, which can be confusing. Tryon says the website, wellowner.org, also has an online water test interpretation tool.
What you do is you simply go onto that place on our website, plug in your test results, hit a button, and it will show you what those results mean and whether or not you have something that would be considered a health risk or where action might be required.
Wellowner.org lists every county health department in the United States and is a good place for private well owners to get started. Learn more about well water testing at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
Habitat for Humanity of Mason County wants to thank their generous donors for their contributions this year and want to remind you there's more work to be done in 2016. Habitat for Humanity of Mason County will be sending out letters requesting financial support from you. Be watching for those letters to arrive in the mail and consider donating your dollars to help Habitat for Humanity's mission of providing affordable housing and home rehabilitation to those in need. Wishing you and your family the happiest of holidays. Habitat for Humanity of Mason County.
Hi, this is Tom Hartman, host of the Tom Hartman program on News Radio 1030 KMAS. You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, we got about 10 minutes to 7, and CNBC will give us a business radio report update here for you about 8 minutes from now.
Yes. Events that have happened on this 29th day of December. Pretty interesting day. Texas became the 28th state of the Union on this date in 1845. There was already 27 states by then. We were not a state until like 1889, right? Or something like that. So still many years before Washington was recognized as a state. The first regular season college basketball game played at Madison Square Garden, New York City. New York U defeated Notre Dame. It was an offensive affair, 25-18 in the final.
Yikes.
Game was a little different back in 1934.
I mean, what were
the baskets were still 10 feet above the floor, but the players were substantially smaller in stature and not quite as proficient. And no three-point shots, Jeff, back in the day.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give it to him then.
Okay. All right.
Donahue, 85. Phil and a Soviet radio commentator hosted the Citizens Summit. Do you remember this?
I do. And, you know, it was an effort on Phil Donahue's part to bridge the gap, so to speak, and to open communications and to celebrate technology. I mean, it was a satellite summit, and it was really pretty incredible for 1985, which in one sense doesn't sound so long ago. And in another sense is amazingly long time ago when you think about all the things that have happened these last 30 years since then. Holy cow. I had received an interesting email about the amount of data that has graced each generation and now how quickly it doubles in size.
Yeah, okay.
The snowball effect whereby eventually like about 2048 that the world's data, the global data will refresh itself every 2 hours.
You mean the amount?
The amount of data that we have will double.
Oh my gosh.
And it'll absorb itself. And so just for an example, I think it was like in 1948, it was every 100 years. It'll be down to 2 hours in 2040.
That doesn't seem sustainable.
No, it's like out of control. I mean, so kids that are in kindergarten and first grade right now are learning skills for jobs that don't even exist yet today.
The new trend, I was on Pinterest 2016 or something. It was the top pins that you'll see on your friend's Facebook page. And one of them was about coding.
Yeah.
Finding cool ways for little boys and little girls to learn how to code.
Yes.
Helps them with their logic, train of thought, and gets them skilled.
It's a whole new direction.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Some other things that I was reading yesterday, like 10 years, just 5 years. So stuff that was around That's stuff that's around now that wasn't around just 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Just amazing.
Well,
No Candy Crush, for example.
Oh my gosh.
That was in 2012.
Oh no.
Can't
believe a world without Candy Crush.
Can you?
Isn't that amazing though?
I had a hard time sleeping last night because of that. I read that. I go, oh my gosh, Candy Crush.
Well, I'll send this to you because I thought it was, it's kind of like a clock that starts going faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And so the ability for a brain to absorb all that data and assimilate it and know how to get it or where to find it, and then the amount of knowledge that you can absorb is, thousands of times more than what your great-grandparents, in a lifetime, they didn't learn as much as you learn in a year.
We went to Star Wars.
Yeah.
And no spoilers, of course. I will not do that.
No.
But it was 20 minutes before the movie started. We were looking at our picks and whatever. Stephanie picked New England over the Jets, whatever, doesn't matter. But we just popped the game on the phone.
Oh.
So we were sitting in the theater watching live
NFL
football on our cell phone.
Waiting for the movie.
Waiting for the new Star Wars movie. And I turned to Stephanie in this moment of clarity.
Yes.
And I says, can you believe that we're watching live and there's no buffering, there's no stuttering, it's high definition.
It's there.
And I wasn't even on the mall's free Wi-Fi, which is another thing they offer.
Yeah.
I was just on the regular data, and it was fast enough to show high definition a stupid football game on your phone.
Oh, it's incredible. I'll get that mailed over to us because I think some of the points that were made in that presentation, the statistics it's just mind-blowing. It just is amazing. And that technology that you're referring to is crazy.
Spoiler alert. I will do another spoiler, but this for tonight's game.
Yeah.
We broadcast the games from a cell phone.
In HD.
In HD. And what's amazing is that your phone, you have a Samsung.
Yes.
I've seen some leaked photos, by the way, of the S7.
Oh.
Scheduled to be released early next year.
So I'm already outdated.
You're already out of date.
Oh,
but the amount of battery life, like 20%, going from a 97 to a 47, that's a little bit more than 20, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For a phone to transmit in 1080p all over the world.
Yes. For 2 hours.
For 2 hours. And we're sitting here jawboning about the game. People are watching it all over the world.
Yeah.
You can watch it tonight, KMAS.com. Starts at 7. 12 hours from right now.
Yeah. And that camera is my cell phone. It's my personal cell phone.
Amazing.
It's an amazing world that we live in.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
I'm Chris Maurer, CNBC Business Radio. Stocks are higher as oil prices rise. The Dow's up 163 points, the Nasdaq higher by 38. Home prices continue to rise in October. That's even though the pace of sales slowed. The S&P Case-Shiller Index indicating prices rose more than 5% in the year ending in October. That's more than September's 4.9% increase. Pep Boys says Carl Icahn's latest buyout offer was superior to the deal it has accepted from Bridgestone Corp. The activist investor raised his offer to value the auto parts chain at about $1 billion. Bridgestone has until early Thursday evening to respond before Pep Boys can terminate its agreement with the Japanese tire maker. And Cisco wins a U.S. patent dispute over Wi-Fi technology. Monday's appeals court ruling reverses a nearly $64 million judgment against the company.
Welcome back. You're listening to Meh in the Morning with C-list guests, boring callers, and that one song we keep playing. Brought to you by the same old breakfast muffin sandwich. It doesn't get more meh than this. Trust me.
Move on from meh mornings. Try the Breakfast Crunch Wrap from Taco Bell. Stuffed with scrambled eggs, bacon, and melted cheddar cheese, plus a whole crispy hash brown, wrapped up and freshly grilled in a warm tortilla. The Breakfast Crunch Wrap. It's more of a meal than a muffin. Wake up with Moss. At participating locations served during breakfast hours. Here's another valuable secret from Arm & Hammer.
I'm Marlise from Parsippany, New Jersey. I have hundreds of uses for Arm & Hammer baking soda. It helps me with stains. It helps me with absorbing odors in the refrigerator. It's a terrific value.
Arm & Hammer baking soda works everywhere, cleaning and deodorizing your home, all for about $1. For maximum fridge freshness, remember to change the box.
Mr. Arm & Hammer, I want to tell you, don't ever change your product. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's a little box of magic.
Save more.
Your South Sound home for NFL primetime football is KMAS Shelton, Monday, Thursday, and Sunday nights, AM 1030 and FM 1033.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. The search for the Texas affluenza teen ended in Mexico with the arrest of Ethan Couch and his mom. Couch is wanted for possible parole violation. He avoided jail time after a deadly drunk driving accident years ago by arguing he was too rich to know right from wrong. He disappeared soon after party video of him surfaced. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest.
During 2 weeks on the run, Ethan Couch and his mother made it as far as Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. A photograph provided overnight by the Jalisco prosecutor's office shows the 18-year-old with shaggy dark hair, a beard, and a mustache. He was clean cut with blonde hair when he was tried, convicted, and given probation for getting drunk, climbing into his pickup truck, and killing 4 people. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Tensions remain high in Cleveland, where a grand jury decided against pursuing criminal charges against police involved in the shooting death of a 12-year-old boy with a pellet gun. ABC's TJ Holmes has reaction.
Another protest is scheduled for here in Cleveland this afternoon. As far as the officers go, they remain on restricted duty with the force. Reviews continue by the city as well as the Department of Justice. As far as the family goes, they are now pursuing a civil suit.
The family is also urging residents to express themselves peacefully. They're stacking sandbags in St. Louis and reinforcing levees as they watch the Mississippi River rise to its highest level in more than 20 years. Snow has finally fallen in Boston, where many people say their shovels broke from last year's record-breaking winter blast. Extreme weather has canceled more than 600 flights nationwide today. The latest hoverboard fire erupted at a shopping mall in New Jersey. The growing number of fires has prompted the Consumer Product Safety Commission to advise people who buy them to also buy a fire extinguisher. When a Boston Chipotle reopened after being shut down by a norovirus, it had a very intriguing customer at the table. The head of the city's restaurant inspection program pulled up a chair to show he is confident it is safe to eat there again. HBO's Game of Thrones was the most pirated show of 2015, according to Torrent Freak, for the 4th straight year. This is ABC News.
Another saving secret from Arm & Hammer. Most people aren't crazy about doing the laundry, but everyone loves saving money. Yeah. Arm & Hammer Plus OxyClean Power Packs makes doing the wash easier with convenient single-dose packs and gives you a savings of up to 50% versus the leading pod. Ooh. And what's even better, Arm & Hammer Power Packs are the only ones with the 2-in-1 cleaning power of baking soda plus OxyClean Stain Fighters. Arm & Hammer Plus OxyClean Power Packs. It has what everyone likes. Big clean, small price.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Call Quicken Loans now to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. And for 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the 2nd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
How are you ringing in the new year? In some places, you can have a champagne celebration on a beer budget. ABC's Daria Albinger tells us where.
What are you doing New Year's? New Year's Eve. With apologies to Ella Fitzgerald. Hey, at least I didn't try to sing it. Here's Wallet Hub's list of the most cost-efficient places to ring in 2016.
Scottsdale, Arizona at number 5, then San Diego, Atlanta, San Francisco, a little bit more costly, but so many options. And number 1 is Orlando, Florida, truly the most bang for your buck.
Spokeswoman Jill Gonzalez says they all have a lot of things to do on the 31st and plenty of reasonably priced hotel rooms. At the bottom of the list, Charlotte, North Carolina. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
If you're a Big Bang Theory fan, you've heard this song, the lullaby they sometimes sing, Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty, you know the rest. The woman is now suing producers of the show, saying they stole it from her mother. It was originally written by her as a poem. They're seeking a share of the profits. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's a new change for 2016 for Central Mason Fire and EMS. Assistant Chief Mike Patty is being promoted to Deputy Chief at Central Mason Fire and EMS effective January 1st. His duties as the City of Shelton and CMFE Fire Marshal, as well as fire investigator for the remainder of the county, will continue as in the past. His new duties will consist of mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minert Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
You know, I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody, you know, I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
You know, a couple of them said, can we only be on 2, you know?
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And yeah.
So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, you know, a lot of the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Hi, it's Dale from the Daybreak Show, inviting you to join Jeff Slakey and myself every morning from 6 till 9. We have what we think is a pretty compelling mix of news, information, and interviews.
Hi, this is Dick Taylor from the Port of Shelton.
Hi, this is Mike Patty, Assistant Chief with Central Mason Fire and EMS.
This is Detective William Adam at the Mason County Sheriff's Office.
This is Commissioner Randy Netherland, and you're listening to Daybreak.
Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
On KMAS. On Newsradio 1030 KMAS.
Hi, I'm Ken Slater, the Roof Doctor. If you're like me, your family's important, so make sure that they're well taken care of. One of the best ways to do that is to provide a safe and warm home to live in. For over 50 years, the Roof Doctor has been helping families stay safe and warm by building roofs that last for generations. Our teams have some of the most experienced roofers in the area, and we only use the highest quality materials to keep your family safe, warm, and dry. That's the Roof Doctor. Give us a call.
Broncos are in. The Navy's quarterback sets records. The Spurs and Warriors are winners. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. The last Monday night game of the year. The game was tied. Denver kicker Brandon McManus shanked a 45-yarder at the end of regulation, but made good on a 37-yarder in overtime. The Bengals then had their shot in OT, but quarterback A.J. McCarron took his eye off the shotgun snap.
McCarron lost the ball. If the Broncos recover, they win. Where's on it? And the Broncos are in the playoffs.
On ESPN, Denver hangs on 20-17 and clinched a playoff berth. The Bengals blew a chance to earn a bye in the playoffs. At the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland last night.
Now Reynolds, quarterback draw right up the middle, right down Randall Street, touchdown Navy. Career touchdown number 88. The record once again belongs to the Navy quarterback.
On ESPN, Navy crushed Pittsburgh 44-28, and Keenan Reynolds leaves as the career leader with 88 touchdowns, 530 points, and over 4,500 yards rushing, the most by a quarterback in NCAA history. To the NBA, the Spurs extended their home record to 18-0.
Leonard now with it on the break, off to Parker. Reverse layup is good. A backbreaker.
On WCCO, without Tim Duncan, the Spurs down the T-Wolves 101-95. Golden State also undefeated at home.
Steph Curry catches, fires a deep left three. Steph Curry now with 23.
On KNBR, Curry registered his first triple-double this season. Warriors beat the Kings 122-103. Omri Caspi scored a career-high 36. And the Yankees busy again, throwing logs into the hot stove. New York picked up arguably the hardest-throwing pitcher in baseball history, closer Aroldis Chapman from Cincinnati for 4 minor leaguers. Despite Chapman facing domestic violence allegations and a potential suspension, Yankee GM Brian Cashman still wanted to make the trade.
We've done as much due diligence on the subject at hand as we possibly can.
College hoops, North Carolina, Butler, Duke, all winners. Women's hoops, UConn beat Maryland 83-73. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
For Newsradio, 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3, and KMAS.com, where you'll find us in HD streaming video this morning. I'm Dale Hubbard, 10 past 7. We have for you tonight on KMAS.com high school basketball ladies version as the Lady High Climbers take on the Hoquiam Grizzlies. In the Mini Dome tonight, we'll join up with you just a little bit before 7 o'clock, the scheduled tip-off for tonight's contest, coming off of one of their ugliest performances of the year. I think it's safe to say.
Sure.
Seahawks could use a little good news, and they may have gotten it with the potential return of Marshawn Lynch. Coach Carroll did indicate that Lynch could rejoin the team later this week, so they'd have to wait and see whether he's ready to play in the regular season finale at Arizona. Currently, Lynch is down south in the Bay Area, his hometown area, and he is talking to some therapists and some consultants down there about his physical situation and whether he's ready to go back into the wars on the NFL gridiron. Now, we had a college game last night for the Huskies, and I think this is a little bit of an upset. University of California, Santa Barbara, UCSB, beat the Huskies last night 83-78 at Heck Ed, and the Gauchos just 4-7 on the season. Second straight win after a 5-game losing streak. That included losses to Arizona State and Southern Cal, so they were getting roughed up on a pretty regular basis by Pac-12 opponents. Knew what to expect, ready to go. As we'd been saying all along, the Huskies are 4 freshmen and a senior.
Yeah.
So they're a young team, high upside, need a little more seasoning. And this is one of those games where Santa Barbara jumped out to a big lead early and then held on a furious rally at the end, and that falls short for the Huskies. So they have to learn how to not fall so far behind in a contest. And so anyway, tough loss for the Huskies as they get ready for Pac-12 play. This, I think, was their final non-conference tune-up game, and then in January they start the Pac-12. That's sports this time around. Here's Jeff Slakey with your weather forecast.
Freezing.
It's snowing out there.
It's really cold, actually. So it's 32 right now, but we have some wind, and so it feels like it's 29. I don't know if you can really tell the difference. Cold, I mean, basically. 38, the high today. 28 will be the low into tomorrow, where the highs are not going to get above 39 or so through the rest of the week, and the lows are going to be in the mid-20s for the rest of the week and the rest of the year, as it were.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the gateway to the Olympic Mountains, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at KMAS and KMAS.com. On a Tuesday morning.
Yes,
another
indeed.
short week here. We've got New Year's coming up.
What?
We talked yesterday about your best New Year's, and you said you were in Cabo?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where?
Yeah, Cabo San Lucas on the beach when midnight struck.
And mine was
beautiful,
what, I think,
starry
Victoria?
night. You could see forever. Huh?
Mine was Victoria. Freezing in Victoria.
Yeah, that was not as fun as being half naked on a beach at midnight.
Me and my brother Jeremy, and I don't even know if Melanie was there, and the parents.
Right.
On like a holiday for New Year's, high school.
So what? Were you guys just in the motel room watching TV and Canadian TV then when the?
So if you get off the ferry there,
do they even have New Year's in Canada?
I don't know. I think because it's so close to America, they kind of acquiesce a little.
Okay.
But right, is it Victoria where you get off the boat and then you see the beautiful hotel, and then you can kind of walk along the water there? Yeah, that's where I was. I do remember that.
Beautiful.
Where would you think the best? Sydney always seems to put on a good show.
Yeah,
Australia.
well, they're one of the first ones to ring in the year.
They are.
So
they got to make it
fresh.
Good. I mean, those fireworks off that bridge are pretty spectacular.
They are spectacular. I think that would be fun.
I'm always nonplussed about the Space Needle.
Well, I was just going to say, so one of my other significant New Year's, I did do the ball drop with the maddening crowds there in downtown Seattle one time.
Uh-huh.
I think we left for the celebration somewhere around 4-ish in the afternoon.
And you were living in Linwood at the time?
I was living in South King County. I was living in the Tukwila area.
It's not very far away.
I had my friend lived on Whidbey Island or somewhere. Anyway, we met. We got settled in for the night, and we were in downtown. So we're in like Pioneer Square, some jazz clubs and stuff, doing some warm-ups. And then, we better start working our way toward the Needle.
Right.
Oh, my God. So from that moment on, it wasn't fun anymore. It was fighting crowds, finding parking, being in really a big, massive parking lot. It reminded me of sitting in the middle. You know how they got all those multiple parking lots at Husky Stadium, where you can just, like, it's an ocean of cars?
Yeah.
Well, that was around the Seattle Center was just an ocean of parked cars. They even overtook roads, side roads and arterial roads. They make them into parking lots.
Yeah.
And so you're there. You're stuck, baby. You're going to bring in the new year there, whether you want to or not, because you're not moving. And I was miserable. And then the ball dropped and whoopty. Okay, yeah, Happy New Year, kiss, kiss. All right, fine, let's get out of here. Okay. And it took us like an hour and a half to get out of it.
You either have to leave early or
miss it,
or you have to be one of the last ones.
And if you leave early, what's the point of even going there?
That's exactly right.
So that was one of my,
I have yet
not
to
fun
New
be
Year's. Up there for that. Seattle, it's just such a throng of people.
Yeah. And I was over that. I didn't need that. Some people love that. They love being part of that, you know.
If I was guaranteed like a parking spot,
right,
and if I was guaranteed a pathway to get to somewhere, and a way out, I'd be all about it.
Sure. You and about another million more people, because there's that many people there. Half of them were like me, begrudgingly accompanying the boss. And it wasn't that fun. And it wasn't that big of a deal. And so some lighted ball comes down and everybody counts down and you couldn't see it. You know, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy.
My sister-in-law's birthday is on the 1st. So we've always had a kind of a out from going anywhere like big time like that, because we've always had gatherings for her birthday.
For her birthday, you want to be
or
fresh,
a midnight.
Want to be party fresh.
Yeah, like I remember I set up a playlist once. I don't even remember how old she was, but we had like the Bare Naked Ladies version of Old Lang Syne classic.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
And it went right into the Beatles' birthday song.
Oh,
so I made it. I made it, and I knew exactly the time that I needed to push play on the CD player.
Yeah.
So it all sank up, and when it hit 1, Happy New Year, the music started right for the birthday.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun to do.
That was good. Good job. That's neat.
718 KMAS. Good morning to you. 32. It's going to be cold throughout the next couple days here. So dress warmly if you have the chance to get out there and walk around. Let's see. Friday, it'll be busy on all the paths at the Huff and Puff, right? Because people have their New Year's resolutions to get active.
I'm thinking about mine right now.
And so enjoy.
Not walking the Huff and Puff, but thinking about New Year's resolutions.
Here's a great one that I just saw on Reddit. If you're looking for a New Year's resolution, and exercise is perhaps topping your list, what about getting some exercise by volunteering to walk the dogs at a local dog shelter?
Not bad.
I'd get too connected to the dogs.
You'd end up
personally.
Bring a dog home every day. Yeah.
My mom sent me a text yesterday. Where'd you get those dogs at? I didn't know what she was talking about, because that's a weird question.
Yeah.
Where did you get Simon, I think was the question.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Well, we'll adopt a pet in Shelton off Jensen. Great place. I think she's looking to get a cat, though. Kitten rescue is around town.
There's a kitten rescue. She ordered the Fila deal out on the island.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Get a real cat.
Hey, she paid the deposit, right?
Yeah.
She might as well go for the gusto.
Get a
tiger.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Hi, this is Kelly Crabtree from Maple Glen Senior Living, where we believe that Christmas is the best time of year. For the staff and residents at Maple Glen, it's a time for enjoying friends and family and for sending warmest wishes to special people like you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Maple Glen.
Greetings of the season from the folks at the Camilchi Dental Center. They wish you the joys of Christmas and prosperity throughout the new year. Again, best wishes and Merry Christmas from the Camilchi Dental Center.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics has a lot to offer the community, and you can see it all online. Discover excellence in patient-centered care, state-of-the-art technology, and wonderful community programs offered right here at home. Mason General Hospital and family of clinics is an award-winning hospital system with board-certified and board-eligible surgeons, highly qualified providers, and a great community outreach. Go online to view pictures, get clinic info, read about fundraising events, community classes, and more. Visit Mason General's website today at masongeneral.com.
Mason General Hospital and family of clinics. Equal opportunity provider. Translation services provided.
Mason General and family of clinics.
Take KMAS wherever you go with our new free KMAS mobile app. It's a free download from either your Apple or Android device. Check out the latest news and even listen wherever you have a signal. Search KMAS in your app store and download our free KMAS app today.
Hi, this is Patty Case with Green Diamond Resource Company, and you're listening to Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
All right, good morning to you. Daybreak here at KMAS, KMAS.com, 721 on a Tuesday. We're kind of looking at some stories that have been happening in the last 24 hours or so. But this next story Dale has for us comes from that shooting at SPU, right? Over the weekend. No, it was about a year and a half ago.
About a year and a half ago. And so now the State Court of Appeals has upheld a ruling ordering the surveillance footage from the mass shooting at Seattle Pacific University to be released. This decision says the court agrees that Washington's Public Records Act requires the videos to be disclosed with partial editing to protect certain identities. So there will be a release of that footage. I don't know.
What does the public get out of this?
Well, that's the question. So I don't know why. There's apparently a demand that the footage be released, and
Do you buy the thing that Trump says about not calling people masterminds, not calling these shooters and things like this in events? Now, this is totally not, there was no terrorist thing. It was a guy, whatever. But the same storyline follows seemingly almost every day, that it's a mastermind that had put this together. And so the thought process is that if you call these folks masterminds, that disaffected youth may go, man, so this guy is a mastermind. He did this. He's got all this publicity.
Yeah.
And now he's considered a mastermind. And what am I? I'm nothing.
Yeah, I'll show him.
Do you buy that?
Well, I'm
giving him a little extra publicity.
Yeah, I mean, to one degree. First of all, they certainly deserve no publicity whatsoever, other than the fact of the news that they had made. But I kind of like to not announce their names after the initial news story runs, and or talk much about who they were or where they came from or what their deal was, because inevitably they've got mental disorders at some level, almost invariably. You don't just go out and commit mass murder in public and not have a screw loose. I'm sorry, but that's really the bottom line to this. Something perpetuates that sort of action. That encourages the ones that are marginal about acting out like that. And when you celebrate a person, John Hinckley or any of these people that have their names,
anybody,
they relish that. That's it for them. That's their big deal. They don't care what happens to them.
I mean, just think. So now, anytime Hinckley, who was a nothing, is now always associated with the president.
Yeah.
Almost on the same level in a certain situation.
Oh, yeah.
Or what's his name? Chapman and Lennon.
Yeah, and that's all they wanted to accomplish. I mean, as minuscule as that seems, it becomes all important, all everything. So I agree to some point about that. I think it's, so you want to, I think you want to minimize the people that were involved. But in this day and age, with all the access to information and data, which we were talking about, you can get a whole full-blown history rundown within minutes of the whole person's life, where they went to school, or who they were married to, what their parents did, when they came to this country, if they were from somewhere else. So you get all that instantaneously.
Right.
And to try to put the pieces together, here's the profile of the killer. And that's what they're looking for. Hey, look at me. This is my profile. I'm significant. I was here. I took out your president. What do you think about that?
Right.
And that's, you feed that need by publicizing them. I don't think there's any way around not publicizing them, but you have to. So it's kind of a two-way street. But, there is some truth to that.
These days and days of coverage.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the news cycle, 24-hour news cycle, we're always looking for that new quick news story.
Yeah.
And if it bleeds, it leads. We get that. And the positive stories are woeful compared to the amount of negative stories.
Oh, man.
But, and then when these things take up 3-4 days of a news cycle,
that's significant.
That is a significant chunk of data, of property, of FaceTime.
Yeah. Yeah, it truly is,
I remember when that thing happened at Marysville Pilchuck, and we were kind of watching it unfold. At the same time, I was watching it on the TV, and they were very guarded on their information they were giving out. You go on Reddit or anywhere, that's not the dark web. But if you go on those sites and then you kind of make your way into the dark web, it's a good launch pad.
Then they've got everything.
They've got everything on these people. They've got their tweets that they've tweeted the day before. They've got pictures. They know, like, who's dating who. All that information is all out there, and it is readily available. And it just builds these stories, and these people become bigger than themselves, almost not to the same extent, and not as vicious or violent. But that Colton Harris Moore kid, the Barefoot Bandit?
Yes.
He, in circles, celebrated.
There's a new movie coming out.
They're making a movie about him.
And it'll probably be a popular movie.
I mean,
I'm a little fascinated by him.
It's a fascinating story. The Catch Me If You Can guy, kind of the same thing. You follow these stories, but at the same time, they are breaking the law.
Yes. And we shouldn't celebrate that, but we do.
Yeah.
He's not quite Robin Hood. He didn't rob from the rich and gave to the poor or any of those sorts of things. And so it's a tough, and like you say, 24-hour news cycles. It's a fishbowl out there anymore. Everybody's got cameras. It's pretty crazy. And then, it just seems to be kind of in vogue to do the mass shooting thing as of the last 5 years.
Part of the deal.
Part of the deal. If you're going to make an impact, this is your best route to take. Probably borrowed it from the terrorism that was going on, in the Mideast. And they go, well, that really is a significant way of, it's kind of like being a suicide bomber, but going out with a little flair.
Mm-hmm.
Make a big deal and then go. And so it's tough. I don't know that there's as many or that there's that many more than there used to be. It's just that we have made it a little bit of a celebrity thing.
The other big story is that the Iraqi forces have retaken Ramadi, right? It used to be covered by ISIS, and they had gotten... Iraq came out the other day and says, hey, we took back Ramadi. And then they came and updated and says, well, most of Ramadi. Well, they've gotten it. This is apparently a big deal in the fight against ISIS. They put out a statement, ISIS did, and they said, oh, yeah, no, don't worry. Things are still going great for us.
Yeah.
But this stronghold that they took back from, and it was the Iraqi forces who we've been kind of critical of over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good news in that fight. It's all going and... Oh, my goodness. 7:29 here at KMAS. Marilyn Foster is the news coming up next.
Yes. In fact, imminent.
We'll check the sports as well. And so if the Hawks win and the Vikings win, but if the Packers win and the Hawks lose...
How's that work out? Crazy scenario.
What's the deal?
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Marilyn Foster. There's a new change for 2016 for Central Mason Fire and EMS. Assistant Chief Mike Patty is being promoted to Deputy Chief at Central Mason Fire and EMS effective January 1st. His duties as the City of Shelton and CMFE Fire Marshal, as well as fire investigator for the remainder of the county, will continue as in the past. His new duties will consist of mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minert Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody... I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
A couple of them said, can we only be on 2,
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And
yeah. So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, a lot of the actual work.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3 and always on KMAS.com.
You're always doing things for other people. Every once in a while, it's okay to do something for yourself. This is Doug Sample from Whitney Chevrolet. This holiday season, treat yourself. After all, doing things for other people often requires a reliable vehicle. If you don't enjoy the task you're doing, at least enjoy your ride. Check out our great selection of new and used cars on our lot or online at whitneychev.com.
A $150 negotiable document fee may be added to the price of all vehicles.
Just down the road to Whitney.
Debt is dumb. Dave Ramsey tells you why.
Question comes from Dave in California. He says, is there ever a time when someone might be able to graduate from a cash-only system to the limited use of a credit card? I don't think that would be graduating. I think that would be being put back a grade. I don't know why you would graduate to stupidity. So why is it graduating to have the opportunity to go into debt? Why graduate? Step back. Hi, this is Dave Ramsey. Tune into my show weekdays from noon to 3 here on KMAS.
Where is that at?
British Columbia.
Lord Tweedsmuir.
Yeah, Lord Tweedsmuir.
I know who that is.
Lord Tweedsmuir High beats Granite Falls in high school basketball in the Blaine Holiday Tournament. Meanwhile, host Blaine loses to Friday Harbor.
Oh,
just saying.
You don't want to lose your own tournament.
No, that's bad news. You're supposed to invite people that you know you can beat up on. Otherwise, why have a tournament?
Why would you even risk it?
Yeah, exactly. Why even come close to it? Elsewhere around the area, just checking, they got some great tournaments at Christmas time. Crushing the Slush down over in Port Townsend going on. And the Vista Holiday Tournament in Clarkston and Lewiston, they combined forces and cities to open up the welcome mat to these high school kids. And one that I'm familiar with, that had attended Foster High School, used to go to quite regularly, was the Ilwaco Holiday Tournament. Mm-hmm. And Ilwaco, the host, defeated Montesano last night, 51-43. Les Schwab has a big invitational going on in Seattle. And Central Catholic of Oregon came up, got beat by Garfield. And Foss loses to Oak Hill Academy out of Virginia. What are
they doing here?
Yeah. 102-51. They're over here showing off. That's what they're doing over here.
Don't expect an invitation next year.
Yeah, you're not coming back to this one. Yikes. Man, bullies.
I can hear the parents already. Who invited them? Virginia? 50 points?
Yeah. What are they doing?
Why are they even here?
It's crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I did see Timberline was in a regular game last night against Ballard, which is a little unusual. I mean, it's a non-conference stretch. So 78-43, Timberline beats Ballard in high school hoops last night. Tonight, we've got girls action for you. HD video stream of the Lady High Climbers hosting Hoquiam. And we'll begin our coverage just a touch before 7 tonight on KMAS.com. Join us for that, won't you? Please. And that'll be a lot of fun. Jeff, what do you got? It's 32 degrees. It's cold. It's foggy.
Really cold.
It's frosty. The roads were treated this morning, thankfully, and thank you, whoever's responsible for that. I don't know if it was state or county or both or whatever, but much appreciated on 101 this morning. They don't do 101.
I don't do much. 32 right now. 38 will be the high today. The low into tomorrow will be about 25. We're not going to get above 40 this week, and we're not going to get out of the 20s.
We may not get out of the parking lot after that.
We may not get out of the parking lot as well. A crush of snow right behind the car.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the southernmost tide pool of Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
That's right. Good morning to you, Daybreak here at KMAS.
What plays well at like 7:30 in the morning Not so much at 7:30 at night.
No.
When you're recapping.
Sure.
Just fans. Anyway, out of context then.
I forgot to tell you, I got a clapper for Christmas.
Okay, and is a clapper to find your phone, or
no? This is a clap on, clap off
for the lights.
For the lights, they still make these things.
Yes, how is that working?
I haven't tried it out yet. I don't know where to put it without, ruining everything.
Can you put it?
Because Kaiser, as soon as Kaiser figures it out,
he'll be clapping all day long.
All over the place.
Yeah, well, living room or something.
I just, that is a great gift, and then like Snuggies.
Yeah,
those as seen on TV. I saw a picture of a storefront that only sold items that were featured on Shark Tank.
Oh, all the new items that were.
It's a pretty good idea. People love that show. People are so smart with their inventions.
They do have good ratings. That's
just like an as seen on TV store.
Sometimes I scratch my head about some of that stuff, though, and I'm going like, man, somebody sees a vision there that I never.
I have not. I did not know a need was.
Yeah.
In the want for that.
A little bit crazy, kind of live in a la-la land. I think some of them do, but that's okay. That creativity is awesome. Keep getting out there and testing the waters.
We just had Lemmy's birthday just 2 days ago, didn't we? Didn't we just talk about Lemmy from Motorhead?
Yes.
Well, he just passed yesterday.
Yeah, 70 years old. I didn't realize.
His birthday was 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's why we were talking about it.
Yeah, so Lemmy just passed.
Motorhead.
He was the front man for Motorhead. So he got some great quotes on the internet these days, today, that he said, and he was into partying hard and loving life. And he's like, if you're not having fun, who cares? What's the deal? Might as well just die now. And I think Lemmy probably did that every day of his life.
Yeah, got 70 years out of it.
Poof.
Probably would have been one of those guys who lived 100 if he'd have been.
Born to lose, live to win. Lemmy.
There he is. Head. Pretty good shank of hair there.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Motorhead, you aren't like those sellouts like Metallica.
Don't want that hair to get caught in the fan, though, if you're leaning over in the motor.
No.
I don't think he did a lot of mechanical work. All right, so we did have that. We do have, goodness gracious, events. This is the 29th day of the year of December.
Mm-hmm.
And, just 2 more days left after this, and then we'll be in 2016. And not a lot of big significant events that happened on this day, thankfully. I mean, some days are quiet, and we're okay with that. Birthdays, for those who have stuck it out and survived the trials and travails of life here on planet Earth.
You're not going to hear him sing and perform his instrument at the same time.
It'd be quite a talent.
But Ray Thomas is 74. He's the flautist and vocalist for Your Moody Blues.
Tuesday. Okay, he sounds a little better than that. Marianne Faithfull?
Yeah.
Or was she? Oh.
Ooh.
69 today. Yvonne Elliman, If I Can't Have You.
Mm-hmm.
Big hit for her in the disco era.
Yeah.
Jim Reed. I've heard of the Jesus and Mary Chain group. I'm not familiar with their music.
I'm not either. I have heard their name. That was, so the Jesus and Mary Chain, and then Glenn Phillips from Toad the Wet Sprocket is also. And I remember there was a guy in high school. His name was, Osiris was his name. And he would wear these weird, he was a rocker. He would wear these weird shirts. And I never knew who these bands were. It was like PE class. He would wear these weird shirts.
Yeah.
And he would have a Jesus and Mary Chain shirt or a Toad the Wet Sprocket shirt.
Yeah.
Not really the music I listened to back then.
Well, that's encouraging to know that you didn't really know.
Dexter Holland is the lead. He's that blonde lead singer from Offspring, 50. That's a great band. That's kind of like my deal. Offspring.
Offspring? You like them?
I liked them in the 90s when they were around.
See, I've never heard any of those bands. Toad the Wet Sprocket, the Offspring, Mary Jesus, and Mary Chain. I wouldn't know one from the other.
You would know if you heard them. I can almost guarantee you that.
Yeah. Well, I probably would know Toad the Wet Sprocket, but what the hell is Toad the Wet Sprocket? What's that even mean? What is a wet sprocket?
Tell me some
as
of the
opposed to a
birthdays.
dry sprocket.
Tell me some other birthdays and I'll find out.
Okay, Mary Tyler Moore, 79, suffered from diabetes her whole life, and has lived a long and an active life. Yeah,
She has diabetes.
Yeah. John Voight, Midnight Cowboy, Deliverance, Angelina Jolie's dad. They have, and I don't know if they've reconciled or not. They have for many years without even speaking to each other.
It doesn't say that he was an Anaconda as well.
He was an Anaconda. It's not on there.
Doesn't say that?
No, it doesn't have that one in there. Not quite of the status of Deliverance for Midnight Cowboy. But John Voight, 77 today. Ted Danson, Cheers. Becker.
I love Ted Danson. Becker. See, they put Becker, but they don't put Anaconda.
Yeah, go figure.
Who watches Becker?
And more recently, CSI, Ted Danson. And some days he's got dark hair and some days he's got white hair. You never know.
Some days he's got black face and some days he has white face.
Yes.
Remember that when
Whoopi.
he did that for Whoopi's?
He was dating her.
Yeah. Showed up to her birthday.
I don't think her and her friends were appreciative of it. And he was doing it as a
Whoopi
nice
got
gesture.
it.
She got it.
Her friends did.
Her friends did.
And the media.
Too bad.
The rest of us didn't. I don't know why we were even invited to the birthday.
I don't either. But I like Ted Danson. Always did.
I got one.
Okay. All right.
Rex Stardust, lead Electric Triangle with Toad the Wet Sprocket, has to have an elbow removed following their recent successful worldwide tour in Finland. Flamboyant, ambidextrous Rex apparently fell off the back of a motor. So this Toad the Wet Sprocket took its name from a Monty Python comedy sketch called Rock Notes, in which a journalist delivers a nonsensical music news report. And the band
you're just doing that
was Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Okay.
So now you know.
Now I know
the rest of the story.
Now I know what the hell Toad the Wet Sprocket is.
So it's a fake band.
Yikes. Okay.
Named,
I don't know if I
real
needed
band
to know that, but you filled in a blank there for me that I'll be eternally grateful. Ted Danson, I said that one. 68, though. I didn't tell you how old he was. Also, Paula Poundstone, stand-up comic. Haven't heard much from her lately. 56. I want to bring out my son, Jason. He's going to sing with me tonight. Son of Barbara Streisand and Elliot Gould. Jason Gould. I think he still lives at home with his mom. He's 49.
Definitely looks more like Elliot.
Yeah.
Than Babs.
Well, you would like to think that he would. Jude Law, 43. And more stuff on the way, but it's 7:45. We're going to take a little pause here. Are we living the country life right now?
Nah, just a break.
You're listening to
just a break.
Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
A daybreak.
KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hi, Tom Hartman here. Join me 9 to noon on News Radio 1030 KMAS. Eventually, something is going to break through all the lies and all the hundreds of millions of dollars the Koch Industries, ExxonMobil, and others have spent funding climate change deniers. Eventually, it's going to break through, and people are going to realize that for the last 40 years, they have been lied to by very wealthy people who are lying to us and allowing people to die just so they can protect their wealth. Not even protect their existing wealth, just so they can make more wealth.
Tune in all season long to NFL Insider on Westwood One. Hi, this is Mark Malone. Join me each week as we whip around the league and break down the NFL. We'll hear from today's stars and yesterday's heroes as James Lofton sits down with a fellow member of the Hall of Fame. We'll also check in with former greats Rod Woodson and Donovan McNabb to help us break down all the latest NFL news. That's NFL Insider right here,
Sunday morning at 6:30 on KMAS.
Are you afraid of going to the dentist? Check out one of the top dentists in the Olympia area at Impressions Dentistry. Dr. Bath offers free nitrous and gentle care to calm your fears. He is a preferred provider for Delta Dental and Cigna. For those with no insurance, they have affordable plans like a special 1 year of dental care for only $159. You'll be impressed with the care you receive. Check out Impressions Dentistry by calling for an appointment today, 360-284-4288, or visit our website at olympiaimpressions.com.
Hi, this is Seattle Mariners broadcaster Dave Sims, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here, KMAS, coming up on 8 o'clock, about 12 minutes or so from now. We'll have ABC News on the way, the Old Farmer's Almanac here shortly as we start to wrap up not only the show for today, but we're starting to put the wraps on the end of the year.
Oh, Jeff.
We were looking at some of the, what we were looking at yesterday? Some of the scandals yesterday?
We looked at the year in I don't remember what we looked at.
Well, we definitely talked about Star Wars.
Holy we did.
What a movie that was.
We could look at just regular news from the year.
We've got a couple great shows for you coming up Friday during Daybreak.
Tom Brady is not a cheater.
Oh, is that the number one
year in hard news? And it's the Patriots defeat the Seahawks in Super Bowl 49.
I don't want to hear any of those sounds.
Well, yeah, I know, but you wanted to know. So if you start from the beginning of the year, that was the big story.
Deflategate.
Deflategate and the Broncos and Deflategate and partial reason for the increased audience.
Gosh, I remember that because then at the Super Bowl, remember they had that obligatory shot of the person standing guard over all the footballs.
Oh, I know. You know, it was NBC. It was the most watched TV program in U.S. history.
Wow.
Super Bowl loss last year. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So that is significant. That's newsworthy in itself.
Tom Brady was the MVP there on that one. What else was going on then? That is an interesting. I totally remember that now. Isn't it amazing what you forget and then you hear a little something and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of jars your memory a little bit. We mentioned ISIS getting its just due here recently.
Sure.
A year ago, February, ISIS releases a video of Jordanian pilot being burned alive. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
A 26-year-old Jordanian fighter pilot being burned alive in an outdoor cage. The Royal Jordanian Air Force pilot was captured after his fighter plane crashed over ISIS-held territory in Syria.
Yeah, okay.
And the brutal execution sparked worldwide condemnation and brought wider attention to ISIS, which is what they wanted. That's what they were looking for.
I think the king of Jordan also is a pilot.
Yes.
And I think he went on missions right after that happened. I saw some pictures of him
himself.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
As the president. It's amazing to see like those guys do that stuff and then Prince Harry and whatever.
Yeah.
They go do their military stuff every so often.
You know, one of the more impressive movies that I did see over the last year was the American Sniper movie with Brad Cooper, based on a true story, and not that long ago.
Right.
So this last February, the guy that was convicted of shooting Chris Lyle was Eddie Ray Routh, and he was convicted in February of this last year, and that was I think that was almost the time. I don't know when the movie came out this last year, but it did, it was a big hit film.
Yeah.
And released close to the time that the conviction came out, as I remember. Jihadi John was identified as Muhammad Emwazi.
That's right. They saw him. They didn't even show his face, but they were able to tell who he was, like on his vocals. And I think even just that little slit where you could see his eyes.
Yeah, and he had an English accent, so they named him John after John Lennon.
Yeah, and they figured out
just that much.
Just that much. They knew who he was.
It was crazy. Yes.
Oh, Clinton talking about
Hillary,
the State Department business and the emails.
Yeah, her personal email thing that broke in March. These are just some of the headlines that we're kind of scanning through over the years. We think back over it all. By the way, we'll have a big ABC special for you Friday morning.
Yeah.
For all the significant events that happened during the course of 2015. Wait, I'm losing years already because we're moving to 2016. That's right. Boston Marathon bomber opening statements in his trial began in March of this year. And, of course, his lawyers claimed that the whole thing was masterminded. There's your mastermind thing again.
Sure.
By his dead brother because he couldn't do anything to him. But I think, as it turns out, he ended up getting convicted.
It just took about a month there, or March is when this trial started.
Yeah, he was convicted in April. Yeah, on all 30 counts.
White House removes Cuba from state-sponsored terrorism list. You can head down there. I think more and more places are opening up. That'd be fun to go down. It'd be fun to go down before, like, McDonald's shows up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. You know, it's still frozen in time there.
That's what I would love.
Havana is lots of old stucco downtown section, you know.
It looks like Miami, only a little more dilapidated.
Well, Miami circa 1956. Yeah. I mean, the cars are still are old.
Everybody wears fedoras, probably.
They haven't done a lot of infrastructure there. The roads are real bad. I would love to go there too. I would like to see it before it'll get a big makeover. You can well imagine there'll be a big influx of money and influence coming into that country here in the next year. I suspect there'll be a lot of changes. Lots of changes.
July, we're
tour boats
starting to see tour boats definitely.
What is it, 90 miles?
It's just 90 miles off the coast. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That'd be a beautiful little trek. Moving into July is when we start hearing more and more about the GOP frontrunner, and we were talking about this last week or something. Yeah, so we were talking about last week saying, when is he going to level out, or what comment is he going to
which one's going to blow him out of the water?
Well, everybody thought back in July Trump was done when he talked about McCain not being a hero.
Yeah, people who weren't captured are my heroes.
I'm a fan of people who weren't captured.
You know, I mean, you would have thought that would have brought him down. He's Teflon Don.
War hero.
Yeah.
Presidential nominee, Arizona senator for a gazillion years. And he says these things and nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Amazing.
President Carter announced that he had brain cancer in August, and he was 90, and is still 90, and now in December, they find no cancer, so it's gone.
Boy, I hope that sticks.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
September brought us Kim Davis.
Yes.
And the same-sex marriage licenses down in Kentucky.
Now, what happened to our little gal from Spokane that thought she was black? When was her story? She's not in here.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good story.
What was her name?
And her parents,
Rachel Dolezal.
And her parents come on and go, well, we're not black.
They're as white as snow from Minnesota.
She's ours. Like so we don't know what she's talking about.
And that is not in here.
Yeah.
Dolezal. That was her name.
Okay.
So that, and then the Pope came.
Lately.
She's. I told you she was pregnant, right?
No.
I thought we talked about this.
And is she still running the NAACP over there in Spokane, or no?
I don't know what she's up to these days.
All right.
She is the number 3rd Rachel that pops up on a Google search, though, so that's got to be good for her.
You know, this is. It seems like it was not that long. November was which is 2 months ago, but the Paris attacks already was almost 2 months ago. Still seems like almost yesterday. And then the Colorado Planned Parenthood clinic, same month.
That guy wants to be his own lawyer. That came out yesterday.
Good, and he's sure to be put in prison for a long time.
His defense lawyer was the same guy who defended James Holmes in the Colorado shooting.
How'd that work?
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Do you know the 6 household ingredients that can tackle any cleaning chore? Some post-holiday cleaning advice today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom27.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom27.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom27.com. Go to freedom27.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom27.com.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Tuesday, December 29th, the 363rd day of the year. Mary Tyler Moore celebrates a birthday, and legendary coach Paul Bear Bryant's last game was on this day in 1982. There's no end of new and improved household cleaning products, but the truth is you only need 6 essentials for tackling any chore: ammonia, baking soda, salt, lemon juice, vinegar, and bleach. Ammonia is a grease cutter and leaves streak-free glass. Using baking soda or salt when you need a mild abrasive, and bleach or lemon juice for a disinfectant. Vinegar, lemon juice, and baking soda are also great deodorizers. Just remember, mixing bleach and ammonia produces a dangerous chlorine gas, so don't do it. That is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. For more reuse, renew, and refresh tips, go to almanac.com.
Tom Hartman is live and waiting for your call from 9 to noon weekdays on KMAS Shelton, AM 1030, FM 1033, and KMAS.com.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Karen Chase. Captured in Mexico, Texas teen Ethan Couch, the 18-year-old who used an affluenza defense to stay out of jail and get probation after a deadly drunk driving crash. Couch and his mom have been arrested in Mexico days after disappearing on the heels of a party video that may constitute a parole violation. ABC's Jim Ryan has the latest on the teen who claimed he was too rich to know right from wrong.
Police in the coastal resort town had been contacted by U.S. Marshals who were looking for Ethan Couch and his mother, Tanya. And yesterday they were spotted at an intersection and arrested for failure to show that they were in Mexico legally. The Couches are being transferred to Guadalajara for an immigration hearing. From there, it's expected they'll be brought back to Texas to face allegations of fleeing from justice. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
More protests are planned in Cleveland a day after a grand jury declined to indict 2 white police officers in the fatal shooting of a 12-year-old black child with a pellet gun. Prosecutors called it a perfect storm of errors. The boy's family is threatening a civil suit. It's another day of delays for thousands of airline passengers. More than 1,000 flights are being grounded by bad weather. The Midwest is being hammered by heavy rain and flooding. In New England, some are seeing their first snow. And ABC's Lindsay Janis says delays at Boston's airport and the roadways are piling up because of the dreaded wintry mix.
The Boston area got up to 3 inches of snow overnight, but the real issue right now for commuters is this mix of sleet and freezing rain. It's creating ice on the roadways. Drivers are being asked to take extreme caution.
Hoverboards are causing a growing number of injuries and fires. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is investigating more than 20 blazes. Russell Crowe didn't get the memo about hoverboard fires. He unleashed an angry Twitter tirade against Virgin Airlines after his kids' hoverboards were banned from the plane. The airline tweeted an apology but said safety is their priority. Martha Stewart's 10-inch stainless steel frying pans are being recalled because their rivets could pop out and hit consumers. This is ABC News.
Finally, there's a lightweight cat litter that doesn't act lightweight. It's Arm & Hammer Clump & Seal Lightweight.
My name is Erin, and I'm a professional pet sitter. I deal with cat litter all day. Clump & Seal Lightweight is amazing on odor. It's super easy to carry, and there's absolutely no dust.
No other litter seals and destroys odor and is 50% lighter than our regular litter and 100% dust-free.
It changed how I feel about a lightweight litter. I would recommend it to my friends and my clients.
Get 7-day odor control and no dust in Arm & Hammer Clump & Seal Lightweight. Another saving secret from Arm & Hammer. Most people aren't crazy about doing the laundry, but everyone loves saving money.
Yeah.
Arm & Hammer plus OxyClean Power Packs makes doing the wash easier with convenient single-dose packs and gives you a savings of up to 50% versus the leading pod. Woo. And what's even better, Arm & Hammer Power Packs are the only ones with the 2-in-1 cleaning power of baking soda plus OxyClean Stain Fighters. Arm & Hammer plus OxyClean Power Packs. It has what everyone likes. Big clean, small price.
The music world has lost one of its strongest heavy metal voices. ABC's David Blaustein has the story.
He was known to the world as Lemmy. The founder and one constant member of the legendary heavy metal band Motorhead has died. He was not shy about his habit of drinking heavily and was obsessed with Nazi paraphernalia. He was different. According to a statement on the band's Facebook page, Lemmy was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer on Saturday. To honor Lemmy, they were asking fans to play Motorhead loud and have a drink or a few. Lemmy was 70 years old. David Blaustein, ABC News.
Where will Clark Kent change into his Superman suit now? New York City is converting its almost obsolete sidewalk phone booths into Wi-Fi hotspots, letting New Yorkers on every corner connect. The former phone booths will also include USB ports. Each comes equipped with interactive tablets for free voice calling with headphone jacks for added privacy. Karen Chase, ABC News.
Local news is brought to you by Fred Holmes Tree Service. FredHolmesTreeService.com, 427-4489.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's a new change for 2016 for Central Mason Fire and EMS. Assistant Chief Mike Patty is being promoted to Deputy Chief at Central Mason Fire and EMS effective January 1st. His duties as the City of Shelton and CMFE Fire Marshal, as well as fire investigator for the remainder of the county, will continue as in the past. His new duties will consist of mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minert Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
You know, I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody, you know, I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
You know, a couple of them said, can we only be on 2, you know?
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And yeah.
So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, you know, a lot of the actual work. Mm-hmm. So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Yeah, hey, Art, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I got a quick story. I was in California, and I was basically babysitting my mom's apartment. She had taken a week vacation to Las Vegas, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, and she had a big mirror on the mantle above the fireplace, and I had the sliding glass door shut. You know, there was no wind, and the mirror, like, flew off about 3 or 4 feet, and it scared the heck out of me.
Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell, live weeknights 9 to midnight on KMAS.
Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable. Affordable refrigeration, cooling, and heating. Whether residential, commercial, or food service equipment, your satisfaction is of utmost importance. And with over 30 years of experience, Arch Mechanical Service is backed by a 30-day labor guarantee. Serving South and West Puget Sound, there is no need to pay for one of those big city technicians. Call 360-229-2139. Arch Mechanical. Our name begins with affordable.
Broncos are in. The Navy's quarterback sets records. The Spurs and Warriors are winners. Hi, everybody. Todd Ant reporting on sports. The last Monday night game of the year. The game was tied. Denver kicker Brandon McManus shanked a 45-yarder at the end of regulation, but made good on a 37-yarder in overtime. The Bengals then had their shot in OT, but quarterback A.J. McCarron took his eye off the shotgun snap.
McCarron lost the ball. If the Broncos recover, they win. Where's on it? And the Broncos are in the playoffs.
On ESPN, Denver hangs on 20-17 and clinched a playoff berth. The Bengals blew a chance to earn a bye in the playoffs. At the Military Bowl in Annapolis, Maryland last night.
Now Reynolds, quarterback throw right up the middle, right down Randall Street. Touchdown, Navy. Career touchdown number 88. The record once again belongs to the Navy quarterback.
On ESPN, Navy crushed Pittsburgh 44-28, and Keenan Reynolds leaves as the career leader with 88 touchdowns, 530 points, and over 4,500 yards rushing, the most by a quarterback in NCAA history. To the NBA, the Spurs extended their home record to 18-0.
Leonard now with it on the break, off to Parker. Reverse layup is good. A backbreaker.
On WCCO, without Tim Duncan, the Spurs down the T-Wolves 101-95. Golden State also undefeated at home.
Steph Curry catches, fires a deep left, free! Steph Curry now with 23.
On KNBR, Curry registered his first triple-double this season. Warriors beat the Kings 122-103. Omri Caspi scored a career-high 36. And the Yankees busy again, throwing logs into the hot stove. New York picked up arguably the hardest-throwing pitcher in baseball history, closer Aroldis Chapman from Cincinnati for 4 minor leaguers. Despite Chapman facing domestic violence allegations and a potential suspension, Yankee GM Brian Cashman still wanted to make the trade.
We've done as much due diligence on the subject at hand as we possibly can.
College hoops, North Carolina, Butler, Duke, all winners. Women's hoops, UConn beat Maryland 83-73. Todd Ant, ABC Sports.
For News Radio, 1030 KMAS Shelton, FM 103.3, and streaming live video feed right now on KMAS.com, around the world and up your alley. 8:10, Tuesday morning, 29th of December. I'm Dale Hubbard. He's Jeff Slakey. She's Carol Gardner. Jerry Eckenrode over there. Coco down here is sleeping in this corner. And Riley is out in the front desk sleeping under that desk because it's my spot.
Riley, because I got rid of the couches here.
Yeah, he's pretty upset with you right now. So that's the layout that we've got, that we're grooving right now with you folks here on this early Tuesday morning. A lot of sports news to cover with you. Last night, a really good Monday night game, a 14-0 deficit that Denver, their playoff hopes were in jeopardy going into this game, and they're playing the number one team from the AFC Central or wherever they're from, and it was Cincinnati Bengals, good team, no Andy Dalton, but still a good team. So 14-0 down at halftime. Woe is me. They end up tying the game and winning the game in overtime. And Brock Osweiler did a magnificent job at the end when he needed to help the team to a victory, and breathing a little sigh of relief, as I think they qualified for the playoffs now with that win this last night. So pretty good game. Hope you enjoyed that. Oakland hosts the Chargers. Wait a minute. That's not right. Never mind. Forget that story. This is the one of 4 bowl games today featuring 2 ranked schools. It's the Russell Athletic Bowl in Orlando, 10th ranked North Carolina facing number 18 Baylor, the Bears. Game could be a high-scoring affair, 2 of the top offenses in the country. Other bowl games today, Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, California, playing the Air Force Academy. Arizona Bowl in Tucson, love Tucson. Nevada going against Colorado State. Texas Bowls today in Houston, going back to Houston, as number 22 LSU is playing the old Texas Tech Red Raiders. The old Mike Leach team.
Air Raid.
I don't think they do that air raid anymore now. that they used to. Tonight, from the Mini Dome on KMAS.com, Jeff and myself covering Lady Climbers basketball, hosting the Hoquiam Grizzlies. We'll start our streamcast a little bit before 7 tonight. And just a reminder, on New Year's Eve in the afternoon, little Gonzaga basketball for everybody against Santa Clara. And then on the second day of the new year, Saturday, Gonzaga at San Francisco for an evening game. So a couple of Gonzaga games for you here in the later part of the week. And the Seahawks travel south to Arizona themselves to take on the Cardinals on Sunday. And we'll have that for you here on your home for the Seahawks, however far they go. Marshawn Lynch might be available this weekend. At least he's talking to some people about the possibility. We could use him. We could have used him last week.
Could have.
Don't need him as bad this week as we could have used him last week, I think. So that's sports.
32 and cloudy skies out there, and a good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at 8:13. We're not going to get much above 40 here today. About 38, likely the high. Tomorrow, more of the same. Mid to upper 30s for the rest of the week. Mid-20s during the overnight. No real chance of any kind of precipitation the next 10 days, thankfully.
Are we going to have stagnant air then? Is that going to creep into our...
That's a good question.
Deal? If we don't have any wind and it's just going to be dry.
Yeah, I would
cracked
anticipate...
lips, crusty noses.
That's going to be bad. Sunday, probably starting on Sunday.
Yeah, I complain about every weather condition. Why don't I just accept something and go with it?
Kaiser had runny nose yesterday, too. That's what happens. You just got to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's tough, though. I don't see any major wind, so we could see some stagnant air here shortly.
I count the air in this room. A little stagnant.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from the artesian waters of South Puget Sound, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
Well, good morning to you. It's 8:15 at KMAS, KMAS.com. This week, this Thursday, we have a special exit interview for you with outgoing City of Shelton Commissioner of Finance and Accounting, Mike Olson.
Yes. Contractor, construction guy by trade.
Pickleballer by nature.
For leisure. Yeah, and he is a bright man. We've enjoyed his tenure with the City Commission. We thank him for his time and years and service to the citizens of Shelton and Mason County, and wish him a lot of luck. And Brad Patterson and myself are behind the scenes doing due diligence to help take Mike's pickleball tournament to a new level.
A new level.
And so we've got some special plans in store that we'll be sharing with people after the first of the year, and encourage all you recreational racquetball pickleballers out there to reserve that special Saturday that Mike has for the pickle. He's going forward with it. I don't know if he doesn't have the same cloud of closing the streets off like he used to, but we're thinking we're still going to be able to get cooperation from the city in that.
Well, fingers crossed.
Endeavor, and it'll be the third annual, and bigger and better. And we're really shooting for the moon. We're going to become, maybe with any luck at all, we're not going to give up until we're the world's first class pickleball invitational. Shelton, Washington.
Largest
on the map for our pickleball tournament.
Largest sporting event, second only to not even the Super Bowl. I was going to say the thing in Spokane.
Yeah, the Hoop Fest.
Second in popularity, maybe only to Hoop Fest. Initially.
Yeah.
I mean, they get a quarter million people.
And the Bloomsday Run in Spokane is another big event.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Well, they get about like a 250,000 people for this basketball thing.
Yes, they do.
Imagine 20% of that here.
If we get 20, if we got
20 people here.
20,000, 2,000, 1,000.
1,000. What it would do to the community.
Pickleballers and their supporters. That would be awesome. So exciting. So that's one of the new plans that we have up our sleeves for 2016. I hope I didn't spoil the surprise.
Well, I better write that down. No, that's exciting.
I hope the one thing about all these plans is that we haven't put Mike into any of these meetings we've been planning. We got to bring him in now. Well, he was busy. He won't be as busy next year now, so we'll be able to.
I don't know, man. everybody that comes in here that's retired now seems to be working more than when they did.
That's a good point.
February 6th is our big event out at the Alderbrook. We're going to be jumping in the frigid waters, and it's going to be a great fundraiser for Mason County Search and Rescue, the emergency services.
You need to see the article I have at home on ice swimming. It's sweeping the nation. Competitive ice swimming. You interested?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We talked last week, Jeff.
What does that even mean, ice swimming?
That's exactly what it sounds like. You carve a hole in the ice and you swim.
Now, do you go under the ice and then you have to break out to breathe?
Well, you don't have to break out. It's predetermined, so they've got a place for you to stick your breathe hole out there. And I think the deal is that it's how far you can go in 60 seconds, or you got to stay under for 60 seconds or something. And the whole key to this is how well you recover, because your body shuts down. And so you have a team. It's a team. It's not just the swimmer. You got to have people pulling you out. You can't get yourself out of the water.
It's like NASCAR.
Oh, it's crazy. And then they got to bring them back. It's a crazy.
Well, you're really selling it.
It's a crazy thing. I'll bring you the article. And there's people that are avid.
Reminds me of how I would react. It's like that Tin Cup movie when Don Johnson and Kevin Costner were fighting for the love of Rene Russo.
Oh, and why wouldn't they?
And they say, okay, whoever can hit it the furthest here on this the driving range, you win. So he goes, Kevin Costner wails one, because he was, Tin Cup, he was a great golfer in the movie. Goes like 300 some odd yards. Don Johnson goes, and he turns and hits it down the street.
And it rolls.
It keeps going. That's what I would do.
And rolls.
So you go that way in the water. I'll go this way.
That would be what
we'll see who gets further in 60 seconds.
Very good point. It's 8:20, and we'll come back with some Northwest headlines for you as Daybreak rolls through a Tuesday with you.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom31.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom31.com. Go to freedom31.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom31.com.
Hi, this is Patty Burney. I'm the store director at Nifty Thrifty, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on Newsradio 1030 KMAS.
Oh my goodness, we're just recanting stories of treachery on the mountains. You know, it is winter time and 32 down on in the lowlands, but we're getting just dumped on with snow up in the mountains, and yikes. You go up there, you say, hey, I'm going to go hiking.
It can snow up to 4, 5, 6 feet in one night, in one day, in 24 hours.
Stephanie
easily
showed me a photo of a bus going on a road, and the banks were double the height of the bus of a snowdrift.
Yeah.
She says that it came from Snoqualmie.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe it. However, we saw a picture of Paradise, Mount Rainier, and their 2-story building, beautiful visitor center, almost to the rooftops.
Yes.
So maybe that was
Phenomenal amounts of snow have been falling in the Cascades.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And there won't be as much now because the weather pattern shows a lightening of moisture. But during all this rain that we've had and marginal snow, a little bit in Cushman and some of the areas out at Matlock and that sort of thing, pales in comparison to what was dumping up in the Cascades. So for skiers and snowboarders, this is going to be a really great holiday, one that they'll be remembering. And a lot of them are up there today, and then they'll get another good weekend because you'll get this nice clear weather. It'll be cold, but you're dressed for it, and it'll be a little crunchy, but better than being wet and soggy, that mashed potato snow that drags you down. So it'll be a fun weekend this weekend for winter sports enthusiasts.
It's amazing. We were talking about technology and how quickly it changes, whatever. One thing I would highly encourage everybody to get, if you do any of those types of things, is a mini GPS locator.
Yes.
They are so cheap. You can get super cheap models that do some things, and then there are better and better and better, but there are, you definitely need this stuff.
And a distress signal
one? A distress signal, anything that'll send out a tweet or a signal to somebody, so you can just press a button.
Yeah. It's
even if you're on the water, on a boat.
They have, these crank radios and flashlights and chargers. They'll charge your phone for you.
Yeah.
So you can be out there in the middle of nowhere still, and even now with the way things are, there's hardly a place on the planet that doesn't have some kind of a signal.
Right.
Where you can't get it out there to somebody. So.
In the last 24 hours, no snow at Stevens Pass, but the base is at 61 inches, the summit at 80.
Yes, that's good.
They've received over the last 72 hours about 5 inches.
Yeah, very light
snowfall.
now.
So that's Stevens Pass. What are some other good ones?
Blewett. Well, that's not a good ski area though. So Snoqualmie is a popular ski area.
We'll have our ski reports on Friday.
Yeah, White Pass, of course, is open now to the public too. So lots of choices for skiers and snowboarders. If you're heading over to the mountainous areas near upside Wenatchee and in that area, a lot of good cross-country skiing opportunities up in there. And
that's fun.
And that's all got plenty of snow packed in up there. They've had a lot of snowfall, even in the lowlands last week. So it bodes well for winter sports enthusiasts. And if you're a snowmobiler and you like that sort of stuff, that's all those snow parks are open. Bang up.
Oh, yeah.
Great time for that. Super time for that. And inner tubing, which is a blast.
40, let's see, the base at White Pass is 68
inches.
And a season total of 170 so far. Summit at White Pass, 88 inches at 6,500 feet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. You bet it is. Very good.
Definitely get out there and check that out.
State Department of Corrections said one inmate that was released, of those thousands that were all released too early over the last 14 years, one inmate that was not supposed to be released until this December now has been arrested. He's behind bars, and it's vehicular homicide charges in a crash that killed his passenger, a lady riding with him in the car. And he wasn't supposed to be driving the car because he wasn't really supposed to be out of jail yet.
Yeah, so he got out in August or something, and it was supposed to get out in December, and this happened in November.
Right. So those kinds of things are what we're fearful of with all these early releases. And as you go back and track how many crimes were committed by repeat offenders who had committed the crime during that early release period. Yeah. And that's going to have quite a story to it, I think, eventually. All right, we are just this side of 8:30, and on the line with us, we're suspecting, is somebody from the Edward Jones office.
Could be, it's Karen today.
Hi, Karen.
Karen, we never know anymore with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got that nasty Christmas cold.
Oh, no.
So I've been sick for 3 days.
That's not fun.
What are the symptoms? What's going around?
It is nasty.
One of my salespeople's now with a crud, too.
Yeah, it's in the chest, the nasty cough. So, yeah. I know.
Hard
So,
with the cold air to breathe that too. You're like,
yes. Yes, just saps my energy.
Oh,
Yeah.
it sure does.
Well, thank you for rallying this morning for
You're
us.
welcome.
Is
Just
this,
for you.
is the stock market rallying too?
It is.
Let's
U.S. stocks are gaining as energy shares climb amid a bounce back in oil. An economic news report today showed consumer confidence rebounded in December, putting Americans in the mood to shop during the holiday season. A separate report showed home price growth gained strength in the year ending October. Bond yields are trending higher this morning. So far this morning in the S&P 500, the best performing sector is technology, while the worst performing sector is energy. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 175 points at 17,704. The Standard & Poor's 500 Index is up 17 points at 2,074. And the NASDAQ Composite Index is up 56 points at 5,097. This morning volume on the New York Stock Exchange is moderate, with 141 million shares being traded, and advancers are outnumbering decliners by roughly 3-to-1 margin. In the commodity markets, the spot price of gold is down 41 cents to $1,068.96. The spot price of silver is up 6 cents to $14, and crude oil prices are up 92 cents to $37.73. In the bond markets, the 30-year Treasury yield is currently 3%, and the 10-year Treasury yield is 2.27%. Stocks of local interest: Amazon is up $15.27. Costco is up $1.66. Boeing is up $2.31. Starbucks is up 88 cents, and Microsoft is up 50 cents. This is Karen Shade of Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. I'm located at 1051 Southeast State Route 3 in Shelton, and if you'd like additional information, you can contact me at 426-4590, and daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Local news is brought to you by Shelton Health and Rehabilitation Center. Find them online at sheltonhealthandrehab.com.
You're listening to KMAS News Radio. I'm Mary Lynn Foster. There's a new change for 2016 for Central Mason Fire and EMS. Assistant Chief Mike Patty is being promoted to Deputy Chief at Central Mason Fire and EMS, effective January 1st. His duties as the City of Shelton and CMFE Fire Marshal, as well as fire investigator for the remainder of the county, will continue as in the past. His new duties will consist of mainly Chief of Operations functions. Central Mason Fire and EMS Fire Chief Tim McKern asks everyone to join him in welcoming Patty into his new role. Thurston County's elected officials will be sworn in today. About 60 South Sound officials will be part of the public ceremony after winning seats in the November 3rd general election. Among those being sworn in, Port of Olympia Commissioner Joe Downing, Lacey City Council members, Olympia Mayor Cheryl Selby, Olympia City Council members, Tumwater City Council members, Tenino Mayor Wayne Fournier, North Thurston School Board members, Olympia School Board members, and Tumwater School Board members. The event starts at 2 p.m. at South Puget Sound Community College's Minart Center for the Arts at 211 Mottman Road Southwest in Olympia. U.S. Representative Denny Heck is scheduled to deliver a keynote speech during the swearing-in ceremony. Though it's a short week, the Mason County EDC is wrapping up the year strong. EDC Director Lynn Longan told Daybreak about a staff retreat that will be held tomorrow.
Well, we're having a staff retreat where we're going to hammer out our work plan for the upcoming year.
Yeah.
You know, I told you we worked on committees and our board retreat, and now we're going to take that into a work plan for 2016.
The committees will be comprised of the 20-plus EDC board members. Longan says it's pretty unique to have such a devoted and involved board.
It's pretty unique. I'm just thrilled that this board, everybody, you know, I said, okay, when I first did this a year ago, and I said, let's see how it goes, right? Yeah. And I said, I would really like everyone to at least sign up for one. And so they all just kind of looked at each other and talked a little bit, and they all decided they were doing at least 2 each.
Oh, okay.
you know, a couple of them said, can we only be on 2, you know?
Right.
Although they do have to monitor their own time because they all have their own jobs and businesses to run. And yeah.
So, but that's still.
And we try to be mindful of that. And the staff tries to take on, you know, a lot of the actual work. So you guys come together, brainstorm, figure out what we can do.
And bring the ideas to you.
Right. And then we'll carry them out.
To hear the full interview with Lynn Longan, visit the Daybreak page at KMAS.com. I'm Mary Lynn Foster, your local news at AM 1030 and FM 103.3, and always on KMAS.com.
Ascend Roofing Company in Shelton's on top of it. 868-2730. Roofing work that speaks for itself.
Hey, just a little note to say thank you for the outstanding work that you, Dennis, and especially Jorge and the crew performed for us on our roofing project. On a scale of 1 to 10, we rate it at 10.5. It was a fantastic feeling from start to finish. Your company is a first-class operation and will definitely give your name to all of our friends and family if they're in need of your services.
You could be the next happy customer by calling Ascend Roofing. 868-2730.
Hi, Tom Hartman here. Join me 9 to noon on News Radio 1030 KMAS. But the policies of Christianity that were defined by Jesus, not necessarily by Paul or some of the other followers, and certainly not by Jerry Falwell, but the policies defined by Jesus that you can read in the Sermon on the Mount or you can read in Matthew 25 are unabashedly progressive. They're unabashedly liberal. I mean, Jesus was the original liberal.
For News Radio, 1030 KMAS, Shelton, FM 103.3 and KMAS.com, audio and video this morning. I'm Dale Hubbard, KMAS.com. Speaking of audio and video, we've got a video stream of high school basketball for you tonight, live from the Mini Dome, as the Lady High Climbers host Hoquiam. Hope you can join us. Jeff and myself will be at the Mini Dome just a little bit before 7 o'clock and expect a fun game tonight at the stadium. Gonzaga has a couple of WCC games coming up this holiday weekend, starting off on New Year's Eve. Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock, Gonzaga and Santa Clara will go at it. And then on Saturday night at 7:40 pregame, 8 o'clock tip, I'm surmising, Gonzaga and the San Francisco Dons.
The Dons.
And then
another story. Oh, yeah. You see Santa Barbara, the Gauchos.
The Gauchos.
Who are the Slugs? The Banana Slugs.
There is a Banana Slugs team.
I thought that was Santa Barbara.
I didn't think it was any of the teams on the West Coast. But it's a good one to look up, maybe. Banana Slugs.
The Banana
I
Slugs.
love mascots. It's hard to compare the Gooey Ducks.
I mean, it's number one.
It is one of the most impressive mascots in the country. People think the Gooey Ducks, that's so cute, and they call it Geoducks. They can't pronounce it.
I had to explain to some kids.
And then the human Gooey Duck is looks a little freakish and a little bit phallic.
Little.
And so people are a little bit, blushing when it's running around the gym up there. But
you see Santa Cruz. And what is that?
You see Santa Clara. Oh, Santa Barbara. Yes.
And it's a Santa Cruz.
Santa Cruz.
So close.
Santa Cruz.
The Banana Slug.
The Banana Slug, which is a real thing.
I had a lady when I was a kid. We went to camp at Wonderwood Park in Lacey. Beautiful park.
Okay.
It was a day camp. I remember this. I'll remember this every time I walk into a forest. I remember this. And so we were at a camp, and the lady picks up a slug, and
she didn't eat it.
No, but she made it appear, and I still don't know if she ever really did. If she licked the bottom of it.
Right.
Because it'll numb your tongue if you do this.
Yeah.
Anybody want to try? Nobody did. So I don't even know if she really did or if that's even a thing.
And why would you want to numb your tongue?
Nature. I don't know. But that was the whole thing, and she picked it up.
She was your leader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know what that's about. Exactly.
I was also fortunate enough to be one of the kids in the group for Y Camp that went to the nude beach. Do you remember that story? Were you around here for that?
No.
Mid-90s or early 90s.
Yeah, no.
It's summertime. So we go for summer camp, Y Camp, and we're off on the campus at Evergreen somewhere along the water.
Yeah.
And we get off the bus and we walk to the beach. And we're all kids. And I mean, this is like freshman, 8th grade, 9th grade-ish.
Oh, okay.
And because I still did that summer camps, my mom worked and whatever. And we're sitting there and the guys are like, hey, look down there. There's a couple of nudies. And we looked to the other side, a couple more nudies.
Hey.
And boy, the counselor saw that. We zipped right back.
Oh, yeah.
It was in the paper. Big joke. Why was like, oh, we're sorry. Parents, it happens. Can't do that now.
No, heck no.
But that's kind of what story they recant.
Wow. So you were part of the news cycle then.
I was part of the news cycle back then.
Yeah. You guys could have said, well, we don't want to stay on this field trip. We want to go down to the beach.
Let's go to the beach.
Let's go beach combing.
It was it was something else. And I think that nude beach is still active.
Okay. Is it in the same place all the time? Do people just look the other way?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I think so.
There's a famous nude beach down in San Diego area called Black Beach that's still vibrant today. I just talked to somebody, a transplant, or a guy that lives down, Mike, that calls all the time. Oh, yeah, Black Beach still going. Yeah. I have a friend that has a key to the beach.
We're going to San Diego for President's Day. Remember, I asked for that off last month, 2 months ago. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell my father-in-law about this, but we may go venture to Black Beach.
Well, God bless you.
Huh. That was a good sportscast.
It sure was.
32, and good morning.
If you remember me from my sportscast, that was the best one right there.
It was. 38 will be the high today.
It'll be a good sport always.
It's Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Join the guys as they talk with neighbors, newsmakers, and each other, getting your day off to the absolute best possible start in the history of mornings. Connect with Jeff and Dale through the KMAS listener line, by email or Facebook. Now, from where I-5 takes a sharp left toward Portland, Daybreak with Jeff and Dale.
All right, good morning to you. It's Daybreak here at 8:39 and at the freezing mark outside. Good morning to you. No wind. We had a little bit of wind earlier. It was getting it down into the 20s. Felt like it, with the wind chill.
Yeah.
38 the high today. It was just 40. That was the high at Sanderson Field yesterday.
Look, and you say it's not even get out of the 30s today.
No.
38 and the 28.
Yeah.
Hey!
38, 28. We're not going to see above 40 maybe until a week from today.
Okay, here's your choice, Jeff. TV last night or TV this week? Or no TV at all?
Let's do last night. I'm interested in what else is on besides Monday Night Football.
Yeah, because now that was the last Monday Night Football game, so you're going to have to start making plans for alternative programming.
Yeah, I think I'll just go to bed.
So there's always the late night, Jimmy Kimmel's and the Jimmy Fallon's and I guess Trump. Dishes, debate dirt, talks immigration, and Biff Tannen. Well, that was last week.
Well,
that was on Kimmel.
Speaking of Biff, the New Hampshire union leader, whatever their big paper is of record over there, had a huge, I don't know if it was a front page editorial or an editorial, highly conservative paper. They have, in 92, and I think again in 96, they backed Pat Buchanan, and a lot of the Buchanan fans are now Trump fans and whatever. Well, the New Hampshire leader, the paper over there, has come out against Trump and is backing Christie. Well, Trump's not having any of this. He was in New Hampshire last night speaking, and he called the editor a lowlife. Anyways, on the page of the editorial, they showed a picture of Trump, and they showed a picture of Biff when Biff got Gray's Sports Almanac in Back to the Future 2.
Yes.
And then he got all those bets, and then he owned Hill Valley. So they were likening Trump to Biff when he ran everything, being kind of a bully.
I gotcha.
It's a really interesting kind of behind-the-scenes politics.
Wow.
Right now. And this paper is the largest paper in New Hampshire. They're worried that that Trump's going to run away with this thing. Like Cruz may win Iowa, and then the four dudes are going to split the vote in New Hampshire to lead, four dudes being Christie,
Cruz,
Santorum, maybe Cruz. Anyways, there's four of them. And they're going to split the vote, and Trump's going to come out ahead, and they're not going to figure out what's going to happen. It's all very exciting.
Where that Free Talk Live?
That's in Free Talk Live is in New Hampshire, Keene, New Hampshire. Yeah, for sure. Different times over there.
Oh, it
they
is.
Live a different lifestyle.
It's a different state. They're trying to make it a free state.
Yeah, granite now, but they're going to try to make it free.
It's made out of granite now, but soon it'll be made out of freedom. Jimmy Kimmel, closer to home, they had, I guess, last Thursday night about their Christmas party and joked about Barbara Walters' Most Fascinating People special. Mm-hmm. Has that aired yet? Barbara Walters special?
It has to have, but I don't remember who the.
Well, we ran down the list of the fascinating people last week. I don't know.
I don't think we even got to number 1, though.
I don't think we did either. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
All these shows are on reruns.
Maybe I probably should go to the highlights. I see. Everybody's in reruns this week. That's why.
Yeah.
So that's Jimmy Kimmel, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Late Show with Steve Colbert, and Late Night with Seth Meyers, all in reruns for this week.
Mark Hamill.
We're not here. We're live.
No, we're live. We'll be live today. We are live today. For the next 12 minutes. And then tomorrow, Carol's coming in, right?
Yes.
And then Thursday, she'll be in.
Yes.
And then it's
Friday holiday.
January 1, 2016.
Yeah. So this is my
Start
final.
practicing your checks.
My final show of the year.
Oh. Anything you want to look back on? We have time, so don't do it now.
Okay.
Mark Hamill fans have another reason to love him. The Star Wars actor is taken to Twitter to verify his autograph on memorabilia in order to beat the dealers. All started Saturday when a fan asked him on Twitter if his signature on a comic book was real or fake. He actually replied, "With so many forgeries out there, I'm happy to tell you this one is real."
That's good.
That's a good story.
Really good story.
Soon, other fans were asking him to confirm his signature on other items.
And he is doing that.
He's a 64-year-old actor now, has encouraged his fans to study the signatures he was authenticating on his feed. These are real. Check out. Look for a loop here or a squiggle here so you can spot the forgeries. Asking if he was getting tired of repeating himself, Luke said no, because I owe it all to the true fans to protect themselves from being victimized by the dishonest dealers. He is, of course, Luke Skywalker.
He is Luke Skywalker, and he is in the new Star Wars movie. And it looks as though he'll have a part in the next Star Wars movie. We'll just say that.
He better.
So that's we don't want to spoil the movie for anybody. A lot of people have seen it. Now, you saw it this weekend, and my son and his girlfriend went and saw it this last weekend as well.
What'd they think?
They liked it. He loved it. Absolutely. Carol has not seen it yet.
Right.
Jerry and I went and saw it a week ago. 12 days, and it passed the $1 billion mark.
The bill.
Holy moly. And you said that they bought the franchise
$4
billion.
No, not just franchise. LucasArts, which also included Indy.
Wow. Indiana Jones?
That franchise.
What?
All the LucasArts stuff.
And the Beatles library thrown in.
They throw that in?
I don't know.
That Beatles library is something else too, streaming apparently 50 million songs by the Beatles streamed on that first day.
First day. 8:45. Tuesday. The day before the end of 2015.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio. Taylor Shellfish is a proud sponsor of the Environmentally Sound program. For 5 generations, the Taylor family's been stewards of a healthy and prosperous Puget Sound. In partnership with nature, Taylor Shellfish brings you the freshest, most sustainable shellfish you'll ever eat. Visit their store at 136 Southeast Lynch Road. Open daily from 10 to 6, and they're online at TaylorShellfishFarms.com.
Mason County Garbage and Recycling on Johns Prairie here in Shelton is pleased to offer safe and efficient removal services. Mason County Garbage and Recycling is always mindful of environmental standards and is continuously striving for the highest excellence. Mason County Garbage and Recycling, upholding your trust within the community. Questions? Call 426-8729. In Belfair, 275-4590.
Hi, this is Terry Allen with a look at the community calendar on KMAS. Nonprofits post your events on KMAS.com. Shelley Barnett, owner of Off the Walls Gallery on Coda Street, will host another of the popular series of colorful conversations at the Shelton Library. Tea and light refreshments, crayons and colored pencils, and fun conversation. It's Thursday, January 21st at 6 p.m. For KMAS News Radio, I'm Terry Allen.
Good morning, this is Under Sheriff Jim Barrett, and you're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS.
What do they care? Beatles hit Spotify and other streaming services on Christmas Eve so far. Come Together is proving to be the most popular Fab Four song.
I believe, Dale, this is interesting that you say this, because I believe the first Beatles song I streamed on Spotify was Come Together.
Here come old black top.
And I did the same exact thing.
Isn't that great? I mean, that's a great way to start the whole thing. So number one, Come Together. Hey Jude, Here Comes the Sun, Let It Be.
That's my favorite.
Twist and Shout.
Classic.
In at 5. Blackbird, beautiful little tune. I Want to Hold Your Hand, their number one song in their first top 40 hit.
Yeah.
Then number 8 was In My Life. She Loves You, number 9. And no, not Bark. Help.
Where were you on that one?
Good timing, though, Riley.
Wiley.
Yeah.
What's your favorite of those top 10?
I've probably In My Life.
It's a great song.
It's one of my favorite Beatles songs of them all.
My least favorite is Hey Jude. The length of it.
Well, and most of the length of it is the finish.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great 3-minute song.
But
it's a terrible 6-minute song.
That's exactly right. Oh, I can remember cruising in Aberdeen and coming up with the revelation that this is the longest ending song in history. And going, okay, here comes the end now, starting right here. And then we did the whole ending through the whole thing, and we had our watches out. There's no digital then.
No.
So we're counting, watching the seconds go around, trying to keep track how many times it passed.
Sure.
Unbelievable. And that was the big deal. It was the longest ending song in history. So that was that top 10 was the U.S. version of their favorites. Globally, it doesn't change much. In fact, I don't even think there's any songs that are All You Need Is Love hit the global list, and I don't think that's on the American list.
That's a great song too. All You Need Is Love,
and it is all you need, really. That and a couple of bucks get you a cup of coffee.
The Beatles. It's interesting now because then we listen to a lot of Saturday morning. I'll put on the acoustic mornings playlist or something. Spotify comes up with these great playlists, and so the acoustic mornings is a good one. I get a little perturbed when they're going to start to, like, Blackbird will be in there now.
Yeah.
I don't need Blackbird in my acoustic playlist. This is so I can explore music.
Yeah.
I already know the song. Just ruins my playlist a little bit.
Well, then maybe Spotify doesn't quite good a job as they think.
Well, no, because I'm not doing the due diligence of liking or disliking songs.
So you're not giving them any input. How are they to know? Are they supposed to read your mind?
They are. Are we at that tech yet?
Well, probably by the week's end we'll be there. The way things are going. Beach Boys, speaking of oldie goldies and oldies, Beach Boys recently wrapped up a tour of Germany. We'll close out the year. And that'll be this Monday, or yesterday, I guess, in Colorado. So they plan to return to the road, though, in January in California and go all the way through May. throughout the country. They're going to be starting out at the Colorado Performing Arts Center there in Avon, Colorado. They'll be through California for most of all of January, and then all the way over to New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, and that area through half of February, Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Florida, for the rest of February on into March. Just 3 dates in March in the Florida, Louisiana, Texas Panhandle area, Austin, and then Utah, Vegas. They'll be in Vegas April 30th, Kansas City, and Des Moines, Iowa to wrap it all up. And of course, they were here in Shelton not too long ago.
Yeah.
To help kick off the big Performing Arts Center, the event center there at Little Creek. So that is the, if you're a Beach Boys fan and you're trying to track them down and see where they'll be close, man, St. Louis Obispo, California, is that North Napa, California? That'd be fun.
San Luis Obispo would probably be our closest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's a great little town, little burg.
Or just go to Vegas in April. You got time.
That works.
Cheap. Probably cheaper to fly to Vegas than it is to get to California.
To San Luis Obispo, because I think you have to fly into Sacramento.
And then
drive.
Get a car. And
18th century mansion. So that was a mansion built in the 1700s.
Yes.
On Loch Ness in Inverness, Scotland. Formerly owned by Jimmy Page. We all know Jimmy Page from Zeppelin.
Yes.
Also owned this mansion, Aleister Crowley, the occultist.
Really?
I'm not entirely sure on this Crowley guy. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about him as I listen to the Paracast Mondays from 1A to 3A here on KMAS.
Late Sunday night into your early Monday morning.
Yeah, they kind of talk about Crowley a little. Anyways, so destroyed by a fire on Wednesday. More than 60% of the residents, known as the Boleskine House, burned over the course of just 2 hours. 30 fire department members had to battle this blaze, 6 water jets. Thankfully, nobody was home. Jimmy purchased the mansion in 1971, fascinated by Crowley, whose interest in black magic and the occult earned him the nickname the Beast of Boleskine. Are you familiar with Crowley at all? No. Aleister Crowley and any of this stuff?
I've heard the name, but I'm not familiar with
He's not the same kind of dude. Who's that other guy, the dropout guy?
Tim O'Leary?
Yeah. Did these guys hang out?
Oh, boy, you got me on that. Yeah, I think so. I think this Crowley dude did hang out with Timothy O'Leary, but age might be a factor. Although Timothy O'Leary was old when I was young.
Variety of odd occurrences and tragedies have taken place or rumored to have happened at the site. Page once said in a 75 interview, strange things have happened in that house that have nothing to do with Crowley. The bad vibes were already there. Well, Dale, this is the end of 2015 here, your last show, I suppose, until the new year. So what's going on, man? We've had a great year on Daybreak.
We've had a wonderful year on Daybreak. Merry Christmas. The roster of guests that have come in and visited with us is amazing.
Yes.
We've added some video content to the show here in 2015.
Wow, changed the look of the place?
We've changed the look of the place several times. And more changes in store is all I can really say today. This morning, but more changes in store for the year ahead. I'm looking very much forward to the new year, and going to be a busy year. A lot of huge and impactful events are planned for us and our listeners and our viewers on the website, and so I'm thrilled to death.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take a couple of days and charge up for the new year.
I'm excited to bring you all sorts of great events with this new video thing. The 14th is a date that you're going to want to write down. It's a Monday, and that's when we're all going to be gathering at the Civic Center.
Yes.
For Graduation Matters Shelton.
Yep.
So we'll stream that if you can't make it. Otherwise, it'll be on down at the Civic Center or KMAS.com. We've got a basketball game tonight on video.
Yes.
KMAS.com. After tonight, the next game will be the 6th.
Of January.
And that will be with Sean Wells.
Sean Wells, our new play-by-play sports guy. And you'll learn more about Sean here in the weeks ahead, but we're excited to have him on board and thrilled to death. He's a sharp young man, and he knows sports. Gosh, he sounds like a real sportscaster when he's on the air.
Well, compared to us,
but we sound like we're having more fun.
That's true.
And you can tune in tonight. We hope to see you tonight, either via online, KMAS.com, or at the Mini Dome. Have a safe, wonderful New Year celebration.
You too.
See you in 2016.
You're listening to Daybreak with Jeff and Dale on KMAS News Radio.
Do you know the 6 household ingredients that can tackle any cleaning chore? Some post-holiday cleaning advice today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich? Working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare? Having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds